Welcome back to high school football on AT&T Broadband. Tonight, we're at Mount Diablo High School for the 3A playoff battle between the Monta Vista Mustangs and the Ignatia Valley Warriors. Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez, as always, out here at Mount Diablo. Steve, and tonight we're going to see two very different offenses battle out here on the football field.
Dan, we have Ignatia Valley. They run that tight wing T offense. Last week against Freedom, they ran for 409 yards on the ground. And on the other side of the ball, you got Kyle Wright leading them, and they got that spread offense and a wide open pro set offense, and they really mix it up really well. So we should have a good game, Dan.
And we'll be back in 2 minutes to kick things off on the AT&T Broadband High School Football Game of the Week.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay. And most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Authentic Italian atmosphere.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Room for the whole family.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Pizza, beer, sports.
Rocco's!
Great place for your next team party.
Rocco's.
The best pizza in the East Bay.
Rocco's.
Your table is always ready at Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria at the corner of Oak Grove and Ygnacio in Walnut Creek.
Back at Mount Diablo High School for tonight's 3A semifinal playoff game between Ignatia Valley and Monta Vista. Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez with Ron Carter and Matt Bowler in the truck. And I'll tell you, Steve, we're ready to go out here tonight. That's Coach Mike Ivankovich of the Ignatia Valley Warriors. He'll face off tonight against Craig Bergman. And we should have a real good game out here tonight. I'm excited about this one.
Dan, it should be a real good one. Monta Vista's really improved as the season went along. We saw them the first week against Antioch. They played to, I think, a 34-34 tie.
Yes, they did.
And they got better as the season went along, and they feel they got a good chance in this game. Ignatia Valley, on the other hand, is very powerful, and they've been showing all year, Dan. They've also gotten better with that wing tee.
Steve, very unusual. There is not the deep back is at the 25-yard line. There must be something that they know about Monta Vista. Okay, now they're going to drop back.
They're shifting back now.
They're shifting back. It's Tom Hogue as the kicker from Monta Vista, and back deep for Ignatia Valley, Stephen Tracy, and number 1, Kyle Foster. And we're underway. 3A battle. The winner gets Bishop O'Dowd or Amador next week, and that is a kickoff that is fumbled, and this is Tracy at the 18-yard line. And Tracy gets back to about the 20, and that's where Ignatia Valley will take over to start. Let's take a look at the Ignatia Valley Warrior offensive starting alignment. Paul Gutierrez, the quarterback, in that double wing. Rusty Wynn, Mike Pasquale, who had a great game last week, and Dante Smith. Juan Duarte and Dave McFarland play the tight ends in that set. Valdez, Barnett, Amaya, Virgin, and Moser are the alignment for the Ignatia Valley Warriors, Steve. And Damian Hogue made the tackle. So Hogue kicked and Hogue made the tackle. But they spell their names differently.
But it sounds the same.
It sounds the same. First down, the ball at the 20, and a quick handoff inside. And that's Wynn. He usually doesn't run that much for Ignatia Valley, so they come out with a quick blast ahead for 7. Here's the Monta Vista defense. Hogue, who made that tackle on the kickoff. Zilius, Clark, and Anderson across the front line with Matt. It's actually Matt Swan. Linebackers are Steve Kelly, John Budaselic, and Kevin Spitz. In the defensive backfield, Sam Desaw, John Ornelas, and Scott Kelly for the Monta Vista Mustangs. 8-2-1 this year. We've seen them, haven't seen them for about 12 weeks. In week 1, as Steve mentioned, tie against Antioch, but they've been playing very well. Beat Arroyo last week, 49-21 to get here. Second down, this is that hot potato quick pitch to Smith. And Steve, that was just a big old pile that moved 5 yards.
Yeah, Dan, they ran behind Duarte, Virgin, and Burnett on that side. They picked up the first down, and they're crunching up the middle right now to start the game off, kind of using power football. But that's what they do, Dan.
This is what Ignatia Valley likes to do. They run the ball a lot. If they throw the ball more than 4 or 5 times in a game, they've thrown the ball a lot. On the other side, when Monta Vista gets the ball, of course, we're going to see probably a 70-30 ratio. But they do have a good running back in Colin Baring, whose father used to, or grandfather was once the owner of the Seattle Seahawks. First down. And the pitch to Smith. And Smith, like he likes to do, he just picks his way through, and he gets about 5 up to the 40-yard line, Steve. Number 88, Ornelas, was there, along with a host of other Mustangs for the tackle.
Let's watch it right here, Dan. And this is what they do, Dan. They just use power football. And right here, here's Smith in motion. Here's that hot potato pitch you like to call, Dan. And you see the quarterback get involved. And, it's not very pretty offense, but it's very effective.
Damian Hogue was also there. Second, and we're going to call it 4. And there's a pitch to Pasquale. Pasquale got injured last week and didn't play a lot in the second half, but picked up 151 yards in the first half against Freedom. They beat Freedom last week, Steve, 42-7. We brought you that game, and Ignatia Valley is a team that has gotten a lot better as the year has progressed as well.
It really has. I talked to Pasquale before the game. I said, "How you doing?" He goes, "Yeah." And I said, are you ready to go?" He goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, have a good game." He goes, "Yeah." These kids, they kill me. It's just like,
Third and about a yard.
I don't know what gets them excited nowadays.
I'd be afraid to ask. Here's a quick handoff and a first down for Ignatia Valley. But the ball's on the ground, but I think they're going to rule this runner down. They ran behind Mosier, Steve.
Yes, they did.
And it looked like Wynn powered ahead for the first down. The ball will be spotted at the 48-yard line of Ignacio. So they're moving the ball on the ground, but that's not a big surprise to us.
And Dan, there it is right there, and you see number 40, Scott Kelly, in on the tackle, and there is a ball on the ground, but I think they blew it dead already. But they're mounting a little drive, and they're pushing back Monta Vista a little bit, a little 4, 5, 6-yard gains, Dan.
Right in front of us at the 48-yard line, first down for Ignatia. As I mentioned, winner gets O'Dowd or Amador at Dublin College next Friday night. And here's a sweep, and Smith in a good pursuit that time by number 50. That's Steve Kelly, and Kelly makes the tackle after a short gain. Steve, I did neglect to mention Sam Mariana, Dave Ukevich, Kevin Coley, Mike MacArthur, and Leon Monroe, the officials for tonight's playoff game.
And now you've mentioned I could tear that piece of paper up.
No, the officials have done a pretty good job.
They really have.
They actually do a real good job as long as Antioch's not involved, because then we get too emotional.
Yeah, that's right.
We have no emotional ties to Ignacio and Monta Vista, really. They spotted it at the 50, a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 for Ignatia Valley early in the first quarter. Pitch to Smith. Smith picks the way up the middle. And Steve, I don't know if I've ever seen a back in high school use his blocking and pick his way up the middle the way that Dante Smith does.
And it's just amazing. He picks up about 3 yards and then picks about another 4 just from the push from the lineman. Watch this right here. And right here it is, Dan. Here's Ignacio. Here's what they do best. Here's your little hot potato pitch. And watch him just crash up the middle. Mosier's up there, 50. He's knocking people back. And right here, watch this push after the surge. And they pick about 3 or 4 more up right there.
Hogue from Monta Vista assisted with that surge as well and pushed him ahead. 3rd and 2. And the question here is, can Monta Vista stop Ignacio's running game? And this is Pasquale. Pasquale follows his blockers for just enough for the first down. A gain of about 3 inside Monta Vista territory at the 43-yard line, Steve. So We've played 4 minutes and 15 seconds already. Ignacio's held onto the ball. They've moved the ball about 40 yards and haven't surprised anyone that's out here tonight at Mount Diablo in doing so.
No, they really don't, Dan. Whenever we do their games, I like doing their games because they run the ball and the clock goes quick, and I can get some Krispy Kremes on the way home.
Friends of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, as always, Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek voted the best pizza in Contra Costa County by readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, Movie Magic in Concord and Pittsburgh. The Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. And Steve, we have a measurement out there, and it's a first down. And that measurement allowed us to talk about the great friends of AT&T Broadband's High School Game of the Week.
Well, we have to pick our spots, Dan.
And Steve, by the way, we do have a new format this week. We are not going to have a friend every quarter.
Well, we ran out of them.
You only get a friend of the game.
Oh, okay.
It's a new format. And next week we're going to have the best friends, and then we're retiring it until I decide it's funny again. First down, the ball at the 41-yard line. Pitch to Smith. Smith picks his way through. And you know one thing, though, that time Dante Smith put his shoulder down, surged ahead. A lot of times he just picks his way through. Buda Selic was there amongst the Monta Vista squad there. And I'm sorry, Steve, but I heard someone in my ear.
Here it is, Dan. There's a pitch right there. And Smith just cracks up the right side. There's Moser hitting somebody 50 and moving the pile back. Gutierrez, he got a little action in there, and nothing pretty about it. They're just moving the ball and moving the chains.
4-yard gain, 2nd and 6, the ball at the 38. And they're in that double wing. And this is where a lot of times they might do the pitch. Nope, see, that time they do the inside trap handoff to Pasquale, but it was read well. And there's a whole bunch of Monta Vista guys there, Steve. Probably too many to mention, but give credit to the Monta Vista defense on that play for reading that. That's the play that usually fools everyone, goes for a big gain.
Justin Clark on the inside was there, Dan, and Grant Anderson was also in there on that play, stuffing up the middle, and they tried to run to the right side. And right here they do a little misdirection, and right there Monta Vista stuffs it real well. Good job by the defense. You know, they've only gave up 1,188 yards rushing the whole entire year, so they're pretty good against the run.
Buda Selic, the Kellys, and Swan were there to make that tackle. Quick pitch, Pasquale, and Pasquale is stopped short of the first down, Steve. It's going to bring up a 4th down and 4 yards to go. And this is the biggest play of the game, obviously, so far. Ignacio will probably go for it down here at the 35-yard line. But we've only seen Ignatia Valley punt a couple times in the games we've done.
That's true. Dan, watch for that. This might be the time they run that little reverse misdirection. They haven't ran that yet, and that's always been pretty effective. Maybe they'll try to mix it up and confuse them.
Or the inside handoff.
The inside handoff sometimes. They haven't did either one of those. Let's see what they do. They're in tight.
They are very tight now, and it's with 2 tight ends, and then, of course, the wing backs now offset. And a quick handoff to Wynn, and Wynn surges ahead, but I don't think he got there, Steve. I don't think he got there.
It's going to depend on the mark, Dan, but I think they're going to come up short.
And that is a very rare occurrence to have Ignatia Valley stuffed. And we're going to take a look at the Monta Vista Mustang offense as they come out after that great defensive stop. Kyle Wright, the junior quarterback, threw for 1,800 yards this year. Colin Baring is the one running back in the wide spread offense. Sam Desaw, Cale Turner, and Matt Carpenter, the wide receivers, with Scott Kelly, the tight end. Here's the line: Wyatt, Buda Selic, Wingert, Kelly, and Shoecraft for the Monta Vista Mustangs. 8-2-1 on the year. Beat Arroyo last week to get to this spot here, playing Ignatia Valley tonight. First down and movement on the line and a penalty, and I think that's going to set the Mustangs back 5 and give us an opportunity to tell you about the Ignatia Valley Warrior defensive starters. Jordan Kreutz, Bubba Bultina, Edwin Rosulio, Orlando Ortega across the front line. Cesar Castillo, Dave McFarland, Spike Mosier are the linebackers, joined by Kevin Foster, Stephen Tracy, Mike Pasquale, and Dante Smith, and a lot of guys going both ways there, Steve.
They are. And Bubba Bultina is known as the king around here.
And someone asked me, why is he the king? Well, because he was the homecoming king. And we brought you that game. He's the king. So that's why we call him the king. And I think the queen's probably here somewhere too, Steve.
I'm sure she is.
Now, Steve, here is one of those West Coast offense sets. 1 back, a wing back, 2 wide receivers on 1st and 15 for Monta Vista, right to throw. He's got plenty of time. He shoots over the middle. He's got a receiver. That's number 8, Carpenter, and Carpenter has a first down on a gain of 24 on first down, Steve, and this shows you the arm and the ability of Kyle Wright here.
Well, you know, Dan, he's 6'3", 190, and here he is in the pocket, standing tall, as I like to say. Got plenty of time. It all begins up front. And look at this throw. Beautiful throw. Catches him right in stride. Moves the chains. Real nice play by Monta Vista.
Coverage on that play came from Zach Rockwell. First down in Ignacio territory. 5:13 to go first quarter, no score, but Monta Vista threatening here. This is Bering, and that's what Ignacio does is they pursue to the ball carrier very well. Moser was over there with Kreutz, and Steve Kreutz made probably as many hard tackles as we've ever seen one player make in that game against Freedom last week.
Justin Kreutz was an absolute animal last week, and here he is right here. Here's Bering, and he's had a real great year, Dan, this kid right here, and he's a real tough-nosed runner, but right there he gets snuffed by YV's defense, and Justin Kreutz leading the way.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7, right to throw, quick drop throws. That's Turner, and Turner's going to be close to another first down, Steve.
They're going to give it to him, Dan.
And Steve, we know what this game's all about, and you've already seen it so far here. You've seen the running ability. If you wanted to bottle this game up, you saw it with Ignacio when they had the ball. Now you're looking at Monta Vista with the great passing game in the armor right and the carry to Bering, and that's what they'll probably do. 2-to-1, run to pass.
And they're going with a hurry-up offense, it looks like, Dan.
3 wide receivers, or otherwise known as trips, to the near side, and 1 back Bering behind Wright on first down, the ball at the 35. And Wright throws, and he's got a cannon, Steve. And this is DeSaw, so he's completed 3 passes to three wide receivers. Say that fast 3 times, Steve.
You can't even say it once, and you want me to say it 3 times? Dan, what a great catch by DeSaw. Let's watch this move after he catches the ball right here, Dan. He does a little shake and bake right here. Watch this right here, Dan. He goes, it's shake and bake, and I helped. And right here, he gets to the outside, he jukes him. Real nice play by DeSaw, and a good throw by Kyle Wright. Boy, that guy's got a cannon. You're right.
And he's a junior. He's going to be a very highly recruited quarterback next year. And we'll probably get to see them a couple times next year, Steve, because they play Antioch again in the first game. This is Bering on first down, and Bering has good yardage, and Bering crashes ahead near a first down. Tracy was over there for Ignatia Valley, along with number 23, Foster. And I'll tell you, Monta Vista, it's always rare, Steve, when you see a team like we've seen Ignacio just bury 2 teams, and Monta Vista's moving the ball right down the field on them.
Here's Bering, Dan, on a quick handoff right here. Picks up a real nice block by number 54 of Monta Vista, Joe Ringert.
Or Joe Wingert.
Wingert, I'm sorry, I misread it. But anyway, Dan, he picks up a real nice block, and that kid's had a great year, Bering.
Yeah, he scored 3 touchdowns in at least 7 games. Wright has all day to throw as he rolls. He looks in the end zone. Oh, what a pass to DeSaw. Touchdown, Monta Vista. And just like that, Steve, like a knife through butter, Monta Vista went down the field. And I'm telling you, we haven't seen Ignatia Valley threaten like this ever on this program.
No, I tell you what, Monta Vista's come to play football here. They look like a fine oiled machine right now, Dan. Here's the replay, a little fake to Bering. You got to respect that. And here's Wright out of the pocket, and he can be dangerous out here. And watch his catch right here by DeSaw in the end zone. Good camel work. Right here, he reaches up and pulls it in. Real nice touchdown, real nice move, and Ignacio's going to be offsides, I think, here, Dan.
Steve, we were trying to get the yardage of that touchdown, but they moved. It's 16 yards because they moved the chain so fast we couldn't get a quick read, but we got it now. It's 16 yards, right to DeSaw for the touchdown. And now Andrew Conti is on to kick the extra point out of the hold of Matt Canapa. Or is it Canapa?
It's Canapa. It's Canapa, Dan.
I was waiting for you to say something, but they fumble, and then they throw back. This will count for 2. Oh, man. I'll tell you, Steve, that was insanity. Number 33, Conti, got the ball through to the end zone to Swan. Swan made the catch. It's 8-0, and I think Ignacio Valley shell-shocked. I know I am.
Well, Dan, they drew that up. That's how exactly they drew it up in the chalk room.
It looked like that in
right
the playbook.
There. They said, right here, you're going to run around, you're going to go crazy. And right there, you see him lifting his hand up. And
if you're open, lift your hand
up, and he goes up and gets it.
And then he almost, it looked like Dwight Clark at a candlestick about 20 years ago.
Beautiful catch.
Man.
We're going to have a good time tonight, Dan, because this is going to be a good game.
Yeah, because I don't think
it's going to be a good game.
I don't think Ignacio is going to get shut out.
No.
I mean, we looked at Monta Vista earlier, Steve. You know, it's funny if you look at common opponents for this year, as we see Monta Vista with an 8-0 lead with 3:32 to go first quarter. We look at common opponents this year. you will see that Monta Vista lost to Freedom 28-25 in the third week. And, of course, we know what happened last week.
Right.
And Ignacio beat them twice, and they tied Antioch. And we know what happened when Antioch played Ignatia Valley.
You know, Dan, one thing we learned this year from high school football, you can throw that all out the window, man, because you can look at common opponents, and how many times this year have we seen a Collins Park go get killed by Miramani, then Alhambra beat, or Miramani beat Alhambra, then Collins Park beat Alhambra, then the next week Alhambra kills Campolin. It's just crazy. It's just you never know what's going to happen week to week. But I'll tell you what, the Mustangs looks like they're ready to play ball here. Looks like Coach Craig Bergman's got them ready, Dan.
Hogue to kick. And this is Foster at the 5. Foster up to the 20, still on his feet. And Foster gets out to the 27-yard line. Let's say hello to some of the great friends of the program. Steve, Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians.
And Dan, we want to thank all them guys this year because
they've done a great
job. They stuck by us all year and they supported us. They supported high school football, and we've had a great year with Matt and Ron in the truck, and it's been a whole lot of fun.
And Steve, you can get every release on the planet if you go over there to Rock Bottom Records, and we're going to talk about every single one of our good friends here and one of the breaks. That was a 65-yard drive, 6 plays, 4 passes, and you see Ygnacio comes out and Gutierrez throws an incomplete pass on first down, Steve.
Yeah, that's kind of, you don't see them throw the ball a whole lot. Usually they try to run that wing tee, and they have success with it, and they try to suck you up into the line. And about the second or third quarter, while you're sucked up, they'll try to go deep in the middle of the field and try to catch you sneaking in on a run. But that time they just tried to get out in the flat, and it didn't happen.
2nd and 10, and this is other than probably De La Salle, Steve, this is probably the first time Ignatia Valley's felt like they've been in a ball game in the last couple of weeks. Gutierrez hands off to Tracy. Tracy battling, but he is wrapped up, Steve, after maybe a short gain. Number 75, John Zilius, who is an all-league selection this year for Coach Craig Bergman. And Steve, let's talk a little bit about Coach Bergman. He's in his 5th year, 29-23-1, his career record. Last year they were just 4-6 though. He's really turned them around this year, and I think Kyle Wright probably has a lot to do with that.
Oh, he really has, and they knew going in that they were going to have Wright this year. He had a pretty good year as a sophomore last year, so and they get him back next year, so they got a good program and things to build on.
3rd and 9. The ball just at the 29, not the 30-yard line. Gutierrez to throw. He rolls, throws out in the flat. He's got a receiver. This is Duarte, and Duarte, a good run after the catch, picking up yardage, Steve, and he gets an Ignacio Valley first down out to the 41-yard line. 2 Monta Vista players, Spitz and Kelly over there on coverage, and I believe it was Spitz who made the tackle here, Steve.
Boy, Dan, that was a big play early. If they wouldn't have converted on that, they would have been having back-to-back punts, and that's something we haven't ever seen Ignacio do this year. But right here, look at this determination. On Duarte's part, he picks up and moves the chains. They got a fresh new down, and now I see them going back to the wing tee and watch them trying to grind it out right here, Dan.
It was Spitz who made the tackle. Kelly came later. First down, the ball at the 41. 2:16 to go, 8-0 Monta Vista here, and this is Dante Smith, and Dante Smith breaks out of the pack. He's going down the sideline. He's got the afterburners on, and he's knocked out of bounds by DeSaw inside the 20 at the 12-yard line. And Steve, just like that, Ignacio Valley hits you with that double wing, and Smith has the afterburners to turn him on, and he went right down the sideline. A beautiful play.
Watch here, Dan. Here's your hot potato pitch, and boy, I tell you, everybody in the initial attack put a helmet on somebody, and right here he breaks to the outside. He's off to the races right here, and his speed's going to overcome everybody right here. DeSaul runs him down the sidelines, but what a big play for Ignacio. They were kind of running into a wall, and this just sets them up for some, actually they're in the red zone now, Dan, and this sets them up for some points.
First down. The ball is now spotted at the 13-yard line. 2:07 to go, first quarter. We've got a good one here tonight. And next week we should have the 2A final for you, so we'll keep bringing them to you as long as they want to play them. As Pasquale goes straight up the middle for a gain of about 3. If you'd like to purchase a copy of tonight's game, well, first of all, let's tell you about next week's game. Here's the graphic, and Steve, this is an interesting one. It's going to be the winner of the Campolindo Los Lomas game against the winner of the Acalanes Miramani game at Diablo Valley College.
That should be a fun one. Kevin Spitz was...
There you go. And if you'd like to purchase a copy of tonight's game or any of our games, Call 933-6264, ask for Metal Matt, or call Ron Carter at 432-0500, extension 237. For $20, we'll give you a copy of this game or any game that we've done this year on AT&T Broadband. Smith on second down, and Smith is hammered at the point of contact, Steve. Number 55, Spitz, was there, wrapped him up. Also, Budaselic was there as well. A couple other Mustangs in on that tackle. It's going to bring up a big third down play for the Warriors, Steve.
I'm glad you mentioned Kevin Spitz because he was in on the tackle before when we missed it when we was advertising. He's doing a good job up the middle right now early. This is a big third down, Dan. You hit that right on the head. This should determine the first half of the way it goes right here for the remainder of it.
3rd and 7, the ball at the 10, 57 seconds to go, first quarter. Now this is something though, Steve, where when you run, see, they're not in that double wing. When you get down there close to the goal line, you got to spread things out a little bit, give you a few more options. They've got Rockwell and Garthwaite, the wide receivers, in, and they throw the fade pattern, and that's Garthwaite in the end zone. Oh, and a great defensive play by DeSaw. What a great defensive play there. They knocked it away. They scored a touchdown on that play last week, Steve.
Yes, they did. They threw the exact kind of fade pattern towards the flag, and it resulted in 6 points. Let's watch it right here. Just a two-step drop, a good chance. Look at it towards the flag. A little fade, just like you called, Dan, and he almost had this thing, DeSaw. Real good man-to-man coverage right there.
I'd like to point out to some of the NFL defensive backs that I see as that's how you
like
to turn around when the ball is thrown just once or twice in your life. They're not going to kick the field goal, Steve. They're not going to take the easy points here. They're going to go for it on 4th and down. They can get a first down at the 4-yard line. 4th and 7. And here's, that's a good fake that time. And they throw back. Oh, what a play. Another great defensive play.
Kelly.
He had him wide open. And that's number 55
Kelly.
again. No, that was Spitz, actually,
Oh,
Steve.
the Spitz. I'm sorry.
Spitz,
Kevin
55, who got into the passing lane. They had Dante Smith. Look at this. This is a great call. It just didn't work.
It just didn't work. Well, he had him open for a touchdown right here, and Spitz just played it very well. Watch it. He just reaches up and just got it. Smith was wide open.
That would have been a touchdown. Wow. So Monta Vista stops Ygnacio Valley for the second time in the first quarter, and they take over. But, Steve, they've got a daunting task ahead. They have to go 90 yards to score. 37 seconds to go first quarter. Let's see if the Ygnacio Valley defense can rise to the occasion here and shut down Monta Vista. Trips this time far side. 4 wide receivers in the game for Monta Vista, and right hands off to Bering, and Bering is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Steve Kreutz was there as well as. Now, Steve, I'm going to let you talk about this man right here, number 51, your good friend.
Orlando Special Sauce Ortega.
That's him.
And he was in on the tackle, and he's had a real good year so far this year, and it's coming towards the end, but he's played a great season, Dan.
And there we are, Steve, and I've got my warm winter jacket on tonight because for some reason I'm cold. I don't know why. I don't think I ate enough turkey yesterday. This should be the last play of the first quarter. Right to throw. Right moving in the pocket. Right being pressured. Right scrambling. Right throws this one to row 2. And that's the last play of the first quarter, Steve. A good one out here so far. The score at the end of one, Monta Vista 8 and Ygnacio Valley nothing. And we'll be back in 1 minute for the second quarter on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
What you doing, Dad?
I'm just getting rid of my old used motor oil.
Dad! Dad! Dad!
What? Whoa!
It's Mr. Funnelhead, the captain of clean water.
What are you doing? Use your brain, not the storm drain. Recycle your used motor oil for a cleaner future. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back for the start of the second quarter at Mount Diablo High School. Monta Vista 8 and Ygnacio nothing, but 3rd and 9 facing Monta Vista at the 11-yard line here. Right to throw. And Wright is looking, and Steve, he has an absolute rifle And he throws to DeSaw, and DeSaw has a first down for Monta Vista. I'm telling you, this kid throws the ball as well as any high school quarterback I've ever seen.
Boy, he's got a cannon for an arm, and it all begins up front, Dan. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, and once you give a guy with an arm like that time to throw the ball and survey the field, he's going to pick you apart, and so far, Ygnacio hasn't put much pressure on him.
Right, 139 at 213, 18-25, 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And, Steve, that's a rating of 158.4.
That's right up there with the best of them.
I think it's a lot higher than some of the
Well, I mean, in the Bay Area. In the Bay Area, we got some good quarterbacks, Dan.
Yeah, we do. Actually, he was only the third best quarterback in his league. Is Bering on first down, gets about 5. Sam Keller out at San Ramon High School.
He's another one.
He was a good quarterback as well. But Steve DeSaw's another guy. He caught 47 passes for 900 yards and 6 touchdowns this year. And he's got Carpenter and Turner, and Bering actually caught 20 passes out of the backfield. But Bering's the big scorer for them.
Dan, they're in behind Budaselic and Kelly and Scott and Steve Kelly on that left side. That time Bering picked up about 7 yards. Good first down play.
2nd and 4, right, short drop.
He does
Yep, he does a fake and then up the sideline. But that could be intercepted as Tracy was out there for Ygnacio. He dives, but it falls incomplete. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, Steve. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about these Monta Vista players as we have them now. And, of course, Bering ran for 1,268 yards. But, Steve, he scored 21 touchdowns so far this year.
Yeah, he had 16 in the regular season and capped it off with 4 last week. And he's really the good runner. He had 18 regular season touchdowns. Excuse me, Dan. But right now, they look like they've got things clicking. A big 3rd down and 3 right here, Dan. They need to pick this up.
Well, this is where you really don't know what they're going to do. They could throw, they could run, and it looks like they're going to throw. Well, if you're going to give them that, Steve, I'll take that all day long. As Tracy gave DeSaw about a 5-yard cushion, and DeSaw took it, and it's a first down for Monta Vista.
Well, Dan, you could tell that from the first time we've seen DeSaw and Wright and these wide receivers, Carpenter and Kel Turner. Watch this right here. Just a 2 quick-step drop. And look at this right here all day long, and they'll do that all day long. You're right, Dan. They're going to give him that.
Well, they're giving it to him again. Turner is almost 10 yards off of DeSaw on first down. The ball at the 36-yard line. Right to throw. Throws the inside screen to DeSaw. DeSaw's still on his feet. And DeSaw's hit right just about where he needs to be at the marker. Castillo made the tackle. It's going to probably be about a yard short, Steve, but this DeSaw, man, you need to cover him with 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah, he's really the real deal. Wright he ran a crossing pattern, and Wright just timed it right and threw it to him. They're going to the hurry-up offense. They got Ignatia Valley on their heels on defense right now.
They really do. This team has gotten a lot better since we saw them in that first game against Antioch, and specifically on defense, because they threw and ran the ball nicely, but they gave Antioch 34 points in that game. Nice draw play to Bering, and Bering has a first down out to the 45-yard line, and we're going to tell you about our great friends of the program here on AT&T Broadband. Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, voted the best pizza in Contra Costa County by the readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, Movie Magic in Concord and Pittsburgh. The Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer needs. First down, the ball at the 45, right to throw. Short pass, it's tipped up in the air, nearly intercepted. A good defensive play that time by Ignatia Valley. Steve, as we take a look at the stats so far through this game.
There's Orlando Ortega. He's the one who broke it up. Real good play by Ortega right there.
111 so far for Monta Vista. Actually, Ignatia Valley's ran the ball for 100 yards so far, Steve, but they just haven't got into the end zone. Second down, the ball at the 45 of Ygnacio. 9:47 to go in the first half. Monta Vista leading 8-0 tonight on AT&T Broadband. Wright has a receiver. That's Carpenter. And Carpenter has a first down inside the 20-yard line near the 16. And Monta Vista is moving right down the field for the second time, Steve. And, it's going to take a big effort to stop these guys tonight.
Boy, I tell you, that he looks good in the pocket, doesn't he, Danny? And look how much time he has right here. Steps back and look at this ball. What a nice throw. And what a nice catch. They're just playing, go down the field, I'll throw it to you, you get open.
Rockwell, that's exactly it. Just go. Go to the flat.
Go somewhere down there and turn around, I'll throw it to you.
Rockwell and Smith, they're on the coverage. First down. Wright to throw. Wright has all day. Wright could make a pot of coffee, Steve. Wright is now rolling. And he goes out. You know what, another thing, Steve? Not only does he throw well, it looks like he has that knowledge of when he's running, get out of the pocket, then get out of bounds. I don't think he's going to take on a lot of guys.
Well, you can see him. He was surveying in the field. Let's watch him survey the field here, Dan. I think that's what you're talking about. Watch him turn his head and look the other way. He looks everywhere. He gets flushed out, and he either throws it away and goes, I'll pick up about, I'll pick up a couple yards anyway. Make something positive out of it.
Steve, there's a college not far from here. They were the same color as those Ignacio Valley guys. They could use this guy in about a year and a half, don't you think? They maybe could have used him today. I heard Cal was actually ahead today, but that doesn't mean anything. Second down. There's a pass to the tight end, Scott Kelly, and Kelly has another Monta Vista first down inside the 5-yard line, and Monta Vista's driving again, Steve. We saw them 12 weeks ago. I don't know if I've ever seen a team improve this much over a season. Look at this.
Really, they look really good. Here's Wright. It looks like he's dangerous when he gets out of the pocket. Number 40, Scott Kelly, makes a catch, moves the chains. They got a first and goal. And one thing about Ignacio Valley, Dan, with that wing T, it's not a great offense to play catch up with.
No, you
really got to jump on people.
You got to run 10 play drives to get back in the game. Hand off to Bering, and Bering blasts straight ahead, maybe a couple. It'll be second down with 8:40 to go, Steve. Craig Bergman's done a great job at Monta Vista this year. He's assisted by Chris Babcock, Mike McCrae, Sandy Malnick, who used to be the head coach at Mount Diablo right here. Steve Malnick, his son, is the defensive coordinator. And Bill Piona, Steve, as you see.
Look at them two names, Dan.
Yeah, that's Lola Hea and something else.
I wasn't going to touch him.
Man. Oh, Wright with the bootleg, and Wright needs to get outside to get in. He dives. Touchdown, Monta Vista.
Right on the keeper.
Kyle Wright with the keeper, the bootleg around the left side. Steve, he beat the Ignacio Valley defender to the pylon. It's 14-0, and I'm in shock.
Well, Dan, I tell you, these Mustangs, they came here to play. Craig Bergman's really got them fired up, and you can tell, boy, he's worked with them through the season, and they've really gotten better.
I'm not necessarily in shock that they have 14 points. I'm in shock that Ignacio has none. Because we've seen Ignacio put 80 or 91 points on the board in 2 games, and that was pretty much the definition of offside right there, Steve.
That was Stephen Tracy. That's the second time he's done it.
Stephen.
Oh, is it Stephen?
I do it too, though.
Yeah,
it looks like Stephen.
It looks like Stephen right there, but Stephen's fine.
Well, I thought the mic wasn't reffed again.
That's the first time I heard it.
Me too.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to have to shut up and let him talk.
Next time we will.
People will like that.
Groundhog's Day. Tracy is offsides again. Okay, here we go.
All encroachment defense, half the distance, retry.
Now they're going to go for 2.
Why not? It's from the 1-inch line, pretty much. They don't have to get very much here. And Steve, if you read the newspaper today, both coaches sound a little bit worried about the other team.
Which good coaches always do.
Yeah, they knew what they're up against. You don't get this far in the playoffs without being good. And here's the handoff to Bering, and Bering just hurdles in. The 2-point conversion is good. It's 16-0 with 8:10 to go, Steve. And I echo what you just said. Not a good comeback offense, Ignacio. They need to go down and score and get back in this game.
Well, Dan, there's a lot of time left. Let's watch Bering right here does his Superman. Oh, this is a touchdown.
All right.
This is Wright rolling out to the left. And watch him smell the end zone. And right here he just does a Jerry Rice. Just goes right in for a touchdown. Nice play. There's some people from Danville pretty happy.
Shirts, patches, hats, caps, and polo shirts are available on the NCS website. Go to
Watch Superman right here.
I can fly like Superman.
Flies on over.
And he did. Good
Bering,
lead.
what a good running back.
Yeah, good lead block by Kelly to get him into the end zone. It's 16-0, Steve. And as we mentioned, next week on Friday night, you're going to have the winner of this game at Dublin High School. And right now it would be Monta Vista. And they would play the winner of the Amador Bishop O'Dowd game, which is happening right now. And of course, if it's Amador Monta Vista, that's a rematch from league. And we'll be at Diablo Valley College next Friday night, unless someone gets crazy and wants to move the De La Salle game to Friday night, but they usually play theirs on Saturday, and it's usually the 2A game on Friday, and it's going to be Miramani, the winner of Miramani Acalanes, and they played a great game earlier this
season.
And Campo Lindo and Las Lomas, who played a great game earlier this season, as we get ready for the kickoff. And I'll tell you, Ignacio Valley needs to go down and score. Hogue the kick, another good kick this time. This is Tracy at the 5-yard line. Good blocking up front, and Tracy's still on his feet out to the 26-yard line. That's where Ignacio will take over. Great friends of the program, as always. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And Steve?
And if you go to Rock Bottom Records, you get that new album, Spit on Fly.
Is that a band?
I don't know. I just throwing one out there. That's the kind of stuff I hear from you.
Well, Rick Armstrong's a good friend of the program. Guillermo at the New Mecca, thank you. And the Images of 3 girls who do such a wonderful job on my hairdo, which is much talked about here. Here's the quick pitch to Pasquale, and Pasquale still on his feet, but then a good tackle from behind. He's wrapped up, Steve, and that's another thing I'm impressed with this Monta Vista team. They're really tackling well. That was Budaselic who came from behind. He had help from Swan and
Scott Kelly.
That's Scott Kelly out there.
Yeah, let's watch number 40 get clipped from the back here by the quarterback at the end. Right here's a nice run, and he gets to the outside right there. Kelly grabs him, number 40, and then watch Gutierrez come in and just kind of clip him.
Was that? It was Gutierrez.
Mm-hmm. And Kelly looked at the ref and goes, "What is up with that?"
There's Coke Ivankovic, who
I'm glad he ain't Mike tonight.
No.
We'll be going bleep, 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 bleep.
2nd and 4. Quick pitch to Smith. And Smith, see,
boy.
that's the difference, Steve, between really, really good defenses like Monta Vista's playing now and some of the others that have let Smith do that and pick their way through. He got hammered.
Let's watch the replay right here. Let's see which kid hits him, Dan. He's going over the top.
Well, I saw Kelly second. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it might have been Spitz or the other Kelly, maybe, one of the linebackers, Steve. It might have been the other Kelly because he plays, that's right where he's at right now.
Yeah.
So,
real nice hit, though.
3rd and 1. Ignatia Valley needs to get on the scoreboard. They trail by 16 in the second quarter. And Gutierrez with a bootleg. And Gutierrez is on his feet at the 50. He's got a first down, and he's tackled at the 37-yard line by Sam DeSaw. That was a great call, Steve, and another one in the bag of tricks.
Well, Dan, it was a real good call. And the thing about it is, here it is, and watch him right. He keeps it right here. And 40 goes for the back guy, Kelly, and he just gets to the outside. He got good real estate. He's going to move the chains. One thing about Ignacio Valley, they got plenty of time to stay with their game plan. We're still in the first half. They're still going to stick with this, and even if they're behind, they're not going to go away from this because they strike so quick when they do strike.
I don't think they're out of the game. I just think they do need to score now to stem the momentum. Because
I think you're right.
If Monta Vista was to make it 24-0, that would make it that much harder. Gutierrez to pass on first down. Gutierrez has time. He's in the pocket. He's scrambling, and then he's tackled at the line of scrimmage by number 51, Damian Hogue. And I'll tell you, Steve, that is where they can run into trouble when they have to start relying on the pass.
Yeah, and you see right there, they're kind of going away from their game plan right there. They're kind of getting into the passing bowl. There's Moser out there protecting him, does a good job, buys him a little time, and Gutierrez doesn't see nobody and just takes off. And Damian Hogue comes from the backside and stays active and gets his man.
Steve, the West Coast Jamboree Girls Basketball Tournament comes into East County December 27th and 29th. Both Monta Vista and Ignacio Valley will have girls teams entered in that, and in the second half we'll tell you a little bit more about that. But Dave Jackson, our great stat man, is running that tournament, and I'll be working it, and we'll be doing some games out there. Handoff to Foster, 2nd down, and Foster gets maybe 3. Another good defensive play out there, Steve, as you see the same suspects out there. Kelly, Spitz, Budaselic, number 75 was out there as well, John Zilius. But another short gain, and Ignacio Valley is faced with a 3rd down.
There's Coach Ivankovic, and you know he's got to be concerned with what's going on here in the first half. Big 3rd down play. He's on this side of the field. He's on about the 36, Dan. Look for him to 2-down territory right here. He's not going to punt.
3rd down, double wing formation once again for Ignacio. Smith and Pasquale offset with Wynn behind Gutierrez. This is Pasquale in motion. Gutierrez to throw. Gutierrez goes up the sideline for Dante Smith, and he throws it just over the outreached arms of Smith at the 10-yard line. Kelly with the coverage for Monta Vista, Steve. And once again, you know, they could have had 2 touchdowns to Smith in this game with better passes.
Here's Gutierrez right here, back from the wing tee, looking in his pocket, getting a little pressure. Throws it on the outside. He had him wide open. He had his man separation between his man. He just overthrew him. Matt Swan from the backside was putting pressure on Gutierrez, made him kind of force it a little bit maybe. Maybe he threw it a little bit early.
Well, Steve, and you know, that is something about this offense too, in that double wing. A lot of times they, you know, there have been times they've had long runs, obviously, but a lot of times it's just 7 or 8 yard chunks every time, and they're just very efficient. Right now they need 8 yards. It's 4th and 7, the ball at the 36-yard line. 4:41 to go in the half. 16-0 Monta Vista. 3A playoffs here on AT&T Broadband, and Gutierrez calls timeout. He didn't like the formation that he saw, Steve, and he's forced to burn a timeout here. 16-0 Monta Vista. Let's take this opportunity, Steve. We talked about Rock Bottom Records and Rick Armstrong, New Mecca, Guillermo out there. Images of 3, of course, is the girls help us out there. A lot of these businesses are on that side of the hill because that's where a lot of us are from, Steve. But we have other great friends of the program like Rocco's and Brendan Theaters, Contra Costa Clean Water Program, Paramount Technology. And if you'd like to purchase a copy of this game, the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, it's a great memory to look back on today and into the future. It's $20 per tape. Call 933-6264, 432-0500, extension 237.
You must get real excited when you talk about images, because before you said images of 3 girls. That's what you said.
Well, the girls of images in 3. Although I have had images of 3 girls, and we can't get into that on a family program.
There's the Ignatia Valley cheerleaders, and they did a great job. I wonder if they're going to do a cheer for us tonight.
I asked them to. And
I know you did.
After tonight's game, stay tuned for CC Rock. I just happened to see the Queensrÿche guy who's been on for numerous weeks now. Let's see if he comes back, Steve.
Is that him, coach of the Mustangs?
No,
over
that's
there?
Craig Bergman, who's the coach of the Mustangs over there on the other side. Although
he's got to be pretty pleased.
He's got to be happy, and he might go home and listen to some Queensrÿche. Here's following tonight's game: CC Rock, Billy Squire, the lead this month, and then Queensrÿche Part 2. And Matt's going to tell me in my headset who he's going to have for the month of December. It's a 4th down. And Steve, it was 4th and 7, and now it looks like 4th and 6. Did they gain a yard in that timeout?
Well, that's all you know on the chains.
Gutierrez to throw on 1st down. Oh, and he had a wide receiver. That was Garthwaite, and Garthwaite is hammered by Steve Kelly at the 30-yard line. The pass falls incomplete, and this is now, Steve, something that I don't think I've ever seen before. Ignacio Valley 0 for 3 in the first half.
I'm going to echo what you were talking about earlier and say that YV's defense is going to have to stop them right here. They can't just roll down and score on them right here. Here's a good shot of it. Here's Gutierrez over the middle. Watch this hit by Kelly. He goes, "You're going to come in my neighborhood, son. You better be catching the ball because I'm going to hit you anyway."
1st down, the ball at the 36-yard line. Monta Vista ahead by 16 and 4 minutes to add to it. And that's Turner, and Turner near a 1st down. Dante Smith, the tackle at the 44-yard line. 4:29 to go here in the first half, Steve. And I'll tell you, Ignacio Valley is, I think they're a little shell-shocked, Steve. Probably other than De La Salle, I don't think they've been this dominated by a team this year or in probably the last 4 or 5 years, other than the games to De La Salle.
They've come ready to play. Monta Vista Mustangs, they're here.
Turner hands off to Bering, and Bering gets a 1st down out to the 47-yard line. Now, Steve, they both beat Arroyo, though. Last week, Monta Vista beat Arroyo in the playoffs, and Ignacio beat them. Ignacio had a very successful season this year. Their 3 losses were to, although, they did lose to Liberty, and Liberty, who was playing good for a while, then they kind of fell off towards the end of the year. They also lost to De La Salle and to Washington of Fremont, who was knocked out of the playoffs last week. So it's a 1st down for Monta Vista, the ball at their 48-yard line.
Rusty Wynn was in on that last tackle on defense with Ortega.
I'll tell you another thing, Steve. They're going to have to get some pressure on Wright because he's picking them apart. And DeSaw has another 1st down. Rockwell makes the tackle at the 42-yard line. I don't think they've put a hand on Kyle Wright yet in the first half.
Or DeSaw. Watch this right here. Watch Wright. Boy, it all starts up front, Dan, and he's got a lot of time, throws the ball. And watch this move by DeSaw. Mosier moves, and watch this move. Just leaves this man in his tracks and moves the chains. DeSaw's a good wide receiver.
I'm sure he'll be an all-league selection, Steve, over there. But there's a lot of good receivers over in that league and some great passing attacks in the East Bay Athletic League. Of course, Ignacio out of the Bay Valley Athletic League. 1st down, the ball at the 43. Wright to throw. Wright throws into the flat, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was Turner. And Monta Vista will be faced with a 2nd and 10 with 3:30 to go here in the half, Steve.
Yeah, you look at the receiving core from Monta Vista, and you got DeSaw, who caught 47 passes for over 900 yards this year. Carpenter caught 31 for 513 yards, and Turner caught 30 for 399. So they spread the ball out very well with this offense. And Turner, he just, somebody get open, I'll get the ball to you.
Wright's thrown for 158 yards in the first half. DeSaw's caught 7 of those passes for 102 yards. 2nd down. Wright to throw. And Wright rifles one for DeSaw. It's in and out of his hands, and I believe it was intercepted, and it was intercepted by Dante Smith, and DeSaw is hurt, Steve, and Smith's still on his feet. He's out to the 30. Smith's still on his feet, out to the 40-yard line, and we're going to have to take stock of this, Steve, as DeSaw got hammered after that pass came in around the 20-yard line. It was intercepted by Dante Smith, and he returns it to the 42-yard line, but concern here with Sam DeSaw, who was injured on that play.
I thought it was Pasquale that came up and really leveled him. Dan really gave him a good hit. It looks like he's moving his foot. Let's see if number 24, Pasquale, is not the guy who makes the hit. Here's Wright. Nice throw over the middle. Let's watch if it's 24 from the blind side. Yeah, it is. No, it's 34,
No,
Dan.
it was Rockwell.
Yeah, it was Zach Rockwell who put the hit, and Smith picked it up.
Now check this out, Steve.
And here's Smith after he makes a pick. There's a nice block. There's another nice block.
That's Kreutz.
That was Kreutz, and Kreutz hurt his foot a little bit on that. You can see him limping, grabbing his ankle. But a real nice return, and that's what Ygnacio needed. There's plenty of time. There's 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go, Dan.
Here's a good look at Dante Smith, who's an outstanding running back here at Ignatia Valley. Of course, Smith, any of these kids, Steve, could be playing in their last varsity game, of course. And Dante Smith, number 25, is a senior, 6'1", 210, and he had 2 great years that we've seen him. Last year he had a lot of good games here on AT&T Broadband, especially on the other side of the hill when we were bringing you the games over there. But concern here, even though they're loaded at wide receiver, Steve, they go 3-4 deep over there at Monta Vista. You don't want to lose your number 1 receiver who's already caught 7 for 102 yards. That was a 32-yard return there on that interception. As you take a look at that's Coach Babcock, who we talked to before the game, Steve, as we talked about the Monta Vista program and a lot of their coaches.
Well, let's just hope DeSaw got his bell rung a little bit, and he's going to be okay. It looked like his foot was moving. There's Smith on the sidelines. You always worry about kids at this level when they get hit like that. We've seen so many injuries this year, Dan. It seems like me and you.
Steve, I want to mention we got some notes from the Monta Vista sideline, and this is an apropos thing to talk about right now. That John Ornelas, number 88 of Monta Vista, was the winner of the Mark, I want to say Illarigay. He asked me to write that out because I bet you it was spelled in some phonetic form that you or I would have problems with.
You know I would.
I know. I think it's Illarigay. And this individual, and good, DeSaw's up and walking off.
Walking, that's good.
He was killed by a drunk driver, Mark Illarigay, about 15 years ago after he left Monta Vista, went to DVC. So it's kind of like a memorial award voted on by his teammates for, the outstanding individual on the team, and John Ornelas won that award.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure that he's a graceful winner, and I'm sure that's a tradition that they always carry on at Monta Vista. Three minutes and 15 seconds left. Damn, they need to score right here. They got plenty of time, but they need to go back to what they do best, and that's running the ball.
And here they are running the ball, and this is Pasquale. And Pasquale blasts straight ahead, knocked forward by Zilius, who makes the tackle. And it's a gain of 6, Steve. So they're near midfield with 3 minutes to play. And if they can go in and score here, get a 2-point conversion, they'll feel a lot better about themselves heading into halftime.
Pick up about 5 yards there. They ran behind Alex Amaya and Spike Moser and Dave McFarland on that right side. They've done a real good job blocking all year. But I am really impressed with Monta Vista Mustangs, Dan, on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I'll tell you, either team who comes out of this game is going to be a very worthy opponent for the winner of the other 3A game. This is a very good bracket in 3A. Pitch to Smith. And Smith bounces outside, but he loses yardage, Steve, as number 55, Kevin Spitz, came over and made the tackle, a loss of about 2. This is going to bring up a 3rd and 6 from the 46-yard line here, Steve, as we're inside 3 minutes, clock running, 2:20 to go here in the first half. And
Damian Hogue was in on that tackle also. Seems like him and Spitz have been game tackled a little bit tonight. They're doing a good job defensive-wise and both sides of the ball. I know Ignacio Valley's got to be going, wow, boy, we got to put something together. I think on the defensive side of the ball, they might have to start blitzing right a little bit, putting some pressure on him, changing up the packages a little bit, show him different looks, Dan, try to confuse him a little bit because he's just too comfortable right now. And if he's going to have that much time to throw the ball, it's going to be a long night for YV. They're going to have to go after him in the second half, and I'm sure the coaching staff's going to make adjustments at halftime.
I think we have a equipment timeout here as Smith is having his shoulder pads tied down, and now the clock will run, and we'll get the play in. But Ignatia Valley, with only 2 minutes to go, Steve, they're going to have to move in bigger chunks if they're going to get near the end zone here. 3rd and 6. Gutierrez to throw. And Gutierrez comes up near sideline. He's looking for Smith again. Great coverage that time. That was Kelly, one of the linebackers who came right down the sideline, Steve, with Dante Smith. That's the third time they've went to Smith and the third incompletion. And here's another rarity, an Ignatia Valley punt.
And Dan, they're throwing the ball right here, and he throws it, and right down the middle you're going to see somebody wide open, McFarland, right to the left. He was wide open in the middle of the field, but he chose to go to Smith, and it was well covered. They're punting again. Last week against Freedom, Dan, they threw the ball 4 times. They've already surpassed that in the first half.
And they haven't.
So it shows you they're kind of going away from their game plan.
Oh, and a bad snap. And this is Foster. And Foster is going to be tackled behind the line of scrimmage, Steve. A big mistake here on 4th down as Foster cannot get that high snap. Swan made the tackle, and Monta Vista is going to have 1 minute and 36 seconds and the ball at the 40-yard line to try to go in and add a 3rd touchdown here.
With that offense, that's no problem at all. Yeah, there's the high snap, and he luckily even got a hand on it. But he got a hand on it, and it hit the ground, and right here he knew he was just going to have to run. I thought maybe he'd try to punt it at this point right there, but no, he wouldn't have had a chance to. He was under pressure. Bad snap. Monta Vista's in business, Dan.
Matt Swan made a great tackle there to keep Foster behind the line of scrimmage and turn the ball over to the Mustangs. The ball at the 41st down, pass to Wright, and it's in and out of the hands of Turner at the 35-yard line. And one thing about Wright, though, Steve, he's a great thrower. He's got a strong arm, but sometimes he overpowers his receivers.
That play right there was the perfect example. He might have wanted to take a little bit off on that. He had his man open, but just kind of took off his fingernails with that throw right there.
As a matter of fact, after that great start, Wright is incomplete in his last 3 attempts, Steve, and with 1 interception. 2nd and 10, Wright to throw. And they throw a screen pass to Bering, and Bering has blockers, but Bering only gets a couple. A good play that time by Foster, and also Castillo over there in coverage for Ygnacio. A timeout for Monta Vista with 1 minute 23 to go, leading 16-0 here on the AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week. Dan and Steve and Ron and Matt in the truck with our great crew out here who've done a great job this year, Steve.
Well, it's been a lot of fun this year. I've got to meet some new people because we've combined both sides of the hill, and it's been a lot of fun.
Steve, if you'd like to purchase a copy of this game, let's see how good the graphics people are. They're good, aren't they?
They're very good.
I just have to say a couple words, and I usually get the graphic. Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. It's a great memory to look back on today and into the future. It's $20 per tape. Call 933-6264 or 432-0500, extension 237. And if you would like to comment on anything about this Game of the Week, give us a call, 933-6264. Tell us what you think, but
don't really tell us what you really think.
So, Steve, we talked about the 3A bracket, the 2A bracket, which will have the winner, and, of course, the 4A bracket. De La Salle will play Pinole, and Foothill will play at San Leandro. And I guess the anticipation there is 2 of the top teams in the state, De La Salle and San Leandro, will probably play next Saturday night for that championship. And that's the football playoff situation for this year. Right to throw on 3rd down. He has a receiver, Turner, but a great play.
Spike Moser.
That was Spike Moser, a linebacker in coverage, and he makes a good tackle. A short gain is going to bring up about 4th and 7 from the 35. Steve, here's another look at it.
And there's Wright with all the time in the world right here. He just gets a little pressure at the end, but Moser really closes real well. He was on his man, and Carpenter, he throws him down, doesn't pick up a whole lot, brings up a 4th down, and kind of a little bit of a decision to do what to do there. There's a good shot of Moser. I got to speak with Spike a little bit after the game, and what a great kid. You know, he's got a 4.0 grade average. Not your scoring points per game when you were a junior, Dan, in basketball. I'm talking his grade average.
That was 9.
That yours was 9? Oh, you had a 9.0 average as a senior?
No, I had a 9.0 average as a junior. Or did I score 9 points in my junior year? I forget which one it was.
But he's a great kid. I had a good time talking to him.
I think his name is Mike, did he say? It's not Spike.
It's not Mike.
I just know that
I call him Mr. Moser.
Oh, Mr. Moser.
Yes.
Well, you've called a few guys this year Mr. something or other.
Well, when you're kissing up, that's what you need to do.
And when we go to Pittsburgh to do the basketball tournament, you'll be calling Mr. Toana. They say it is Mike Moser in the truck. Yeah.
I'll be calling the Great Samoan from the Great North, or whatever.
And Steve, we need to talk about that in our headlines in the 3rd quarter, but of course Pittsburgh's head coach Bill Cochran resigned this week.
Yeah, it's been a crazy week over at the Pittsburgh campus.
So we'll have to talk a little bit about that further, as that loss to Antioch, not only devastating loss seeding-wise and to their record, but they lost their head coach after some of the incidents of that week. And Coach Cockrum, they're already talking about replacements, Steve. I don't think it would be wise of us to mention any of them, but
I can't tell you what I really feel.
No, but we know who they're talking to. 4th down. This is Wright to throw. Wright still on his feet, and Wright is going to get just enough for the first down. He made a great play, got out of the clutches of Kreutz, and got just inside the marker, Steve, for the first down.
Yeah, here's Jordan Kreutz on the backside. Well, right in front of him, actually, and watch him. You think that he's got Wright, and he just eludes him. And this shows you another dimension of his game right here. He can scramble pretty good, Dan. He's the real deal. This guy got the whole package. He's going to be something next year. He's something this year, but could you imagine with another year of maturity and the offseason working out and stuff, how good he's going to be next year?
Well, they already threw out a...
First down, Warriors.
Wow. Wow, Steve. Now that's a weird one.
That was a weird spot.
I wish we had a replay of that from that angle because it looked like he had a good couple of yards.
I thought he for sure went out after the yard mark.
Unless he stepped out of bounds just shy, but his body was, far in front of the yard marker there. Let's take a look at it.
Here's a good job by the truck, and here he is sprinting out to the right, and you see the marker to the right. Let's see what happens here, Dan. Just a bad spot, that's all.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, Steve.
How can that not be a first down?
We don't get paid, and the officials don't get paid enough, so we'll just leave it at that. Smith on first down. 39 seconds to go. I don't think Ygnacio is going to have enough time to get in, Steve, but they've at least stopped Monta Vista the last time, 2 times with the ball. And Monta Vista will actually get the second half kickoff, so they're going to have to stop them a 3rd time as Ignatia Valley calls timeout, Steve. It's 16-0 Monta Vista here in the first half. And Steve, tomorrow night, tonight Miramonte's playing Acalanes. Tomorrow night Los Lomas and Campo Lindo are going to play. But what's that game going to turn into if this storm that's supposed to come our way materializes?
Oh, who knows, Dan? And who knows how powerful the storm is going to be. They're saying it's a big one coming up, so we'll have to wait and see what the weather's like tomorrow. I'll be home nice and cozy watching it.
Well, you won't be watching the storm or watching the game?
Watching
You're going to have it watching this game. Take a look at some of the Ignatia Valley cheerleaders. I'll be in a marathon hockey blitz tomorrow, Steve, as always on Saturday. But I will actually try to watch us a little bit as well, which is always fun. But I kind of wanted to go to that game, but, I'm not going to go sit out in the rain. I sat in the rain once for a 49er game.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was it.
What time?
And that was the 49ers against Dan Marino. I don't care how good J.C. Lewis is.
I'm going to go in the locker room with Coach Avekovich after and see. Let's try to, give him a big group hug. See if he'll.
I don't think you're going to get much of an interview.
You don't think so?
No. 27 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd down, and this is Foster. Foster's got a convoy, but Monta Vista is pursuing very nicely, and Foster is tackled inbounds. I believe that's number 80, Steve. Nick Kirkpatrick, who's in the game.
It was Kilpatrick. He made a nice tackle. They're going to move the chains. There's 20 seconds left. They're going to stop the clock.
Enough for a first down for Ignacio at their own 44-yard line.
So a first down, Steve, but they need to go 56 yards in 20 seconds. And
here's Foster right here. He's only a sophomore. Student body right here. There's Moser out in front. He makes a nice block and moves the chains and gets out of bounds.
First down, Ignacio. Gutierrez the pass, and it's in and out of the hands of number 34, Zach Rockwell, at the 46-yard line, incomplete. But Steve, that only took 3 seconds.
Yeah, Dan, and they have a good field goal kicker in Hinojosa, so they might be thinking, if we can get one big play, give him a shot to kick one in. But with 17 seconds left here, you have no option but to throw the ball in the middle of the field, deep down the middle.
Second down. 17 seconds to go in the first half. Monta Vista leads 16-0. Gutierrez, short drop, throwing up the sideline. And he throws that one out of bounds, Steve. As Garthwaite and number 8, Matt Carpenter, got tangled up. But, Steve, I don't think that Garthwaite could have caught that unless he had a ladder.
No, that was a good no call. They just kind of threw it up down the sidelines. And there was really a little bit of contact, but like you said, he wasn't close to catching that ball.
Third down. Only 12 seconds remain here in the first half, but they've only burned 8 seconds, Steve. At this rate, they could run a few more plays.
Yeah, and why not? Because you never know what's going to happen down the field. You may get a pass interference.
Timeout, Ignacio.
And Steve, our crack crew, now you know what that is right there? That is not a pole. That is one of our great friends, Brendan Theaters. And if you look closely, you can see the line to Harry Potter.
Really?
Yeah. You can see it stretching all the way down the sidewalk right there.
Is that what that is? I thought that was tail lights to Krispy Kreme.
Did they build a Krispy Kreme on this side of the
No, that's from Antioch.
Oh. Did you see that Harry Potter movie yet, Steve?
3 times.
Really?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. You know what movie I want to see, Steve? And since we're talking about movies, I want to see that new Robert Redford movie with Brad Pitt, Spy Game.
Oh, that looks good.
That looks like a good. That's we'll all go. We'll have a group meeting tomorrow. Crew meeting at the Brendan as you take a look at the, and that's Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, who's our honorary cameraman tonight. You know, Billy just turned 53, and he looks pretty good for 53.
He does look good.
Or is that the bass player? Do you want to know something ironic about ZZ Top? There's
it?
3 guys in that band, right? There's Billy Gibbons, who has a long beard.
Right.
There's Dusty Hill, who has a long beard.
Yeah.
You know what the drummer's name is? Frank Beard.
Wow. And he's got a short beard.
He doesn't have a beard.
Wow.
Okay, that's enough of the music trivia for tonight.
Here we go.
Back to the game. 3rd and 10. Pitch to Smith. Smith picking his way through, doing that typical Dante Smith thing up to the 50-yard line. But, Steve, there's only 5 seconds to go, and I think the clock's going to run out here, and that's going to be the final play of the first half. The score at halftime in tonight's 3A semifinal. Monta Vista 16, Ignatia Valley nothing. Steve, in 10 seconds, give us your thought of the first half.
Well, the Monta Vista Mustangs came over here. They played a great game. Wright has thrown the ball. He's had wide open receivers. He's opened up the offense. They've moved the chains. They've had Ignatia Valley's defense on their heels all night, and Ignacio just hasn't got going on offense. Simple as that. Ignacio
needs to in the second half to get back in this one as we take a look at Colin Baring as he went through the air on this 2-point conversion, and Monta Vista leads 16-0 on AT&T Broadband. We'll be back after the halftime activities here on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Hey, get me out of here! Help! Help! Help!
Wow, a filter that talks.
Wow, a human that doesn't know throwing an oil filter in the garbage can will pollute our landfills and our environment.
I've got a better plan for the future of Mr. Filter. After changing your oil and filter, place the filter in a sealed plastic bag. Make sure it doesn't leak, and take it to a certified used oil and filter collection center. They will then properly dispose of Mr. Filter in an environmentally friendly way.
Hey, wait a second, don't close that door, don't close it! Whoa!
Recycle your used oil filters for a cleaner future. For more information, call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out my website at www.funnelhead.com.
Authentic Italian atmosphere.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Room for the whole family.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Pizza, beer, sports.
Rocco's!
Great place for your next team party.
Rocco's.
The best pizza in the East Bay.
Rocco's.
Your table is always ready at Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria at the corner of Oak Grove and Ignacio in Walnut Creek.
Back at Mount Diablo High School, the halftime score tonight on the AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week, Monta Vista 16 and Ignatia Valley nothing. And let's take a look at the touchdowns in the first half. Steve Sanchez, there was 2 for Monta Vista with 2 two-point conversions. And here's the first one, and this is a nice pass from right to Desaw.
Yeah, Dan, here it is. It all begins up front, and he rolls out and buys a little bit of time and surveys the field and throws a real nice ball right here. And Desaw makes a great adjustment, makes a nice catch. 6 points, Monta Vista.
And then we had
this crazy two-point conversion.
Oh, this is that two-point conversion from the end zone. We had a good angle on this one.
What's the catch?
You can see Swan make the catch, and the score is at this point now 8-0, Steve.
Yeah, that one kind of slipped away from them, but they made something positive out of something that looked negative.
And then Wright here with the 2-yard run. Nice bootleg here from the quarterback.
Yeah, most of the defense bid on the fake, and Wright smells out the goal line right here, the pylon, and dives for it, and there's 6 more from Monta Vista.
And then Bering, of course, with the two-point conversion after that. And the score at halftime, 16-0 Monta Vista, as we take you out with a 1-minute timeout here, and we'll be back to start the third quarter after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay. And most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Back at Mount Diablo High School, Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez here for the AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week. It's a 3A semifinal between Ignatia Valley and Monta Vista, Steve. And Ignatia Valley is going to have to kick off to Monta Vista, whose offense was just about unstoppable there for most of the first half.
They really played a great half, Dan. They got a lot of production from their quarterback and their wideouts. Ran the ball just enough to keep them honest, and it was really a positive half for Monta Vista Mustangs.
Right after the kickoff, we'll take a look at the first half stats, but Hinojosa on to kick. Bering and number 3 for Monta Vista, Ali Aman. Back
Ali
deep.
Aman.
Yes.
From the Aman family.
Yeah, well, naturally. And that is Aman at the 5-yard line. So we're underway in the third quarter. Monta Vista with a 16-point lead, and Aman, good yardage, still on his feet, bounces outside. And I think the ball, it looked like the ball might have been on the ground, Steve, but he's finally tackled at around the 25-yard line. Take a look at these statistics. Monta Vista 186 total yards. They only ran for 26, but they had 160 passing. Of course, Ygnacio nearly matched those totals with 159 rushing. They didn't turn the ball over, but they just could not convert when they needed to.
They really couldn't, and a chunk of that change was Smith's long run. That's what makes it look a little deceiving. So they just couldn't cash in.
First down, Monta Vista, the ball to 25. They lead by 16 and a handoff to Bering, who had 26 yards rushing in the first half, and Bering gets about 6. Let me tell you about a few more of these stats in the first half. Steve Wright was 13 and 19 for 160, an interception and a touchdown. Desaw, who we're going to have to look at, and he is out there, and that's good news for them. 6 receptions, 89 yards, and a TD. And we had him actually with 7 for 102, so I think we might have missed one there at the end. Turner 3 for 20. Carpenter had a reception. Also Kelly on 2nd and 6 for Monta Vista. And when Ygnacio gets the ball, we'll tell you about their offensive stats. And here's Desaw. Desaw with the ball, and he has a first down as he's knocked out of bounds. Far sideline by Rockwell after a gain of about 9. And so, Steve, Monta Vista comes right out, and I'd have to say if they score here, this could really not necessarily put a nail in the coffin, but that would mean Ignacio is going to have to go down and get 3 touchdowns in about 18 minutes.
It wouldn't put a nail in the coffin, but you'd have your hammer in your hand ready to nail it. But right here, Dan, that last pass was tipped, and they still converted it. They got things going their way tonight.
Turner in motion. Turner to pass, right to pass, and he throws a screen pass to Bering. Bering's got blocking downfield, and Bering's just picking his way through. Another good gain, near a first down right in front of us at the 48-yard line, Steve. And I'll tell you, I think the big key to this whole game, if I had to say one thing is going wrong for Ygnacio, is they're not getting near right. They're not even close to it.
Boy, he has all the time in the world back there. He's feeling comfortable. He's got no pressure on him at all. He can mix it up. Now they're doing screen passes, draws. They're just really mixing it up very well. Good play calling on the coaching staff of the Monta Vista Mustangs.
And, of course, that's Craig Bergman, who's the head coach, offensive coordinator. He's also the golf coach and the athletic director, Steve. And I think he drove the bus over here tonight. And Bering is tackled by Duarte for – it's going to be close. I think it's going to bring up a 3rd down, Steve. Probably a 3rd and about 1 here, and this would be a big stop for them. And they're going to measure. So we're going to take a look at the great friends of AT&T Broadband's high school football game of the week, Steve. And, of course, Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, voted the best pizza in Contra Costa County by readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, Movie Magic in Concord and Pittsburgh, and the line is shrinking, Steve. The Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead, remember it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. And don't forget, you can join the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. Help support our effort to bring quality local sports to 220,000 cable customers in Contra Costa County while highlighting your business during the game. The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is your opportunity to increase viewer awareness of your business and be a part of the excitement of local hard-hitting football action. If your business is interested, please give us a call at 933-6264. And Steve, Monta Vista gets a first down at the 48-yard line, and they're driving here in the 3rd quarter. I'm out of breath.
That's okay, Dan. This is a big sequence for Monta Vista's defense. They really have to step up, and they got to step up on this right now, on this possession of downs right here.
Right, play action, rolling, looking downfield, picking Ignatia Valley apart, Steve. A pass to Kelly, the tight end. That was Jeff Garcia-like in its beauty.
Boy, I tell you, he's the ideal quarterback. He can hurt you in the pocket. He can hurt you out of the pocket. He can scramble. Let's watch him right here. Real nice fake. Watch his ball on his hip. Gets to the outside. And right here, he's got a couple options, and he decides, well, I'll just pick up 9 or 10 right here. Gives it to Kelly. Kelly just goes down. Real nice game. First down, they move the chains.
Steve, you make the horse white on the helmet, and they look just like the Calgary Stampeders, where Jeff Garcia played for many years before coming to the 49ers. Draw play to Bering. And Bering gets a couple. That was a good tackle by Kreutz. And Kreutz is just chomping at the bit. You know, he's just ready to hammer somebody.
Yeah, he's probably wants to get to the quarterback pretty bad. But he's very active on that left defensive end. He's been doing a good job tonight. He's real aggressive. I think they've taken advantage of that a couple times with a couple of draws and a couple of screens, using him to turn up field and coming in underneath him. There's Coach Bergman right over there, Dan.
Well, he was a college coach as well,
yeah,
Steve, at San Jose State. 2nd and 8. He's in his 5th year at Monta Vista. Right to throw. Desaw wide open. Desaw still on his feet, making a Warriors miss. And finally, number 55 comes in. That's Asako Patolo.
On the rocks.
Hopefully, after tonight's game. Take a look at this, Steve. He is just a very impressive player.
Yeah, real nice 4-step drop right there. Hits him right on the numbers. And this kid's a great wide receiver. He makes people miss. There's a couple misses. moves the chains again. They got things going their way.
He's a junior, too. They're both coming back.
Unbelievable.
It's scary. Handoff, Bering. Bering gets about 5 on first down. You see Foster there in the picture. Steve, I want to point that out to you.
DeWardy's in on there. Go ahead, Dan.
Also, Turner is a junior. And Kelly, the tight end's a junior.
Oh, boy.
They lose Bering and Carpenter out of that top 6.
Wow.
By the way, Matt, you might want to write that one down. Antioch at Monta Vista opening weekend next year. there's our opening game already. I'm sure Ferris has written that one down. 2nd and 5. The ball inside the 20-yard line. We're going to say at the 16. Turner in motion. Right to throw. Steve, there's just no pressure. He throws to Turner, who comes out into the near flat. And he's knocked out of bounds by Duarte. It's going to be near a first down. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, Steve, here early in the 3rd quarter.
Well, you got to be impressed with the game calling of Monta Vista and the poise of Wright in the back as a quarterback position. Dan, he seems real comfortable back there. He's got different options, different people to go to. He spreads the ball around, and they're very effective. They have really come a long way since we've seen them, boy, I tell you.
And there we are, and that's me. I'm in my Alaskan jacket.
Let me get in here.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I got my Alaska jacket on. Mystery Alaska. Because we always know what comes out of this booth will be a mystery. Play action, right, fools the entire Ignatia Valley defense, throws a nice pass out to, Turner makes a great catch, and then Dante Smith comes over and just levels him, Steve. But a first down for Monta Vista as we say hello to some of the more. What school did I go to?
Some of the more. Same one I did.
We say hello to some of our great friends here, or some more good friends of the program. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Action Video, and Antioch Opticians as we're right back to play as Monta Vista's in the hurry up. They have a first down, the ball at the 5-yard line, and they hand off to Bering, and Bering picks his way through right into the end zone. Touchdown, Monta Vista, a 5-yard run by Colin Bering. And Steve, it is getting to be very bleak for Ignacio Valley. They trail 22-0 here tonight.
Dan, Monta Vista has really just executed so well. Let's watch Bering right here. It's just power right on the right-hand side. There's 57. On the left-hand side, I'm sorry, Dan. And he cuts up, and boy, I tell you, Monta Vista has got a game plan, and they've been working it to perfection.
75 yards, 10 plays. Steve, 5 passing, 5 running. Is that balanced?
That's mixing it up.
And they go right in. They're going to go for 2 to try to go up by 24, Steve. And at Ignacio Valley, really now when you start talking about desperate situations, they're going to have to score the next time they get the ball, or they are not going to be having too much fun here in the 4th quarter.
I think you're right. I agree with you totally.
2-point conversion attempt. This is right. A different formation almost every time for Monta Vista. Rolling. And this time he's going to be knocked out of bounds short of the pylon, Steve, so the conversion attempt fails. And it's 22-0 Monta Vista here. 7:06 to go in the 3rd quarter, Steve. And while we're talking about some of our great friends, we want to tell you a little bit about these friends. Of course, S&S Import Service is over there in Antioch. Good friend of yours runs that, right?
Yeah, Randy Scott does a real good job. Take your car there on 10th Street, 806 West 10th Street in Antioch. He'll tune up any foreign car you have, and he does a real good job.
Not far from there is Golf and Games.
And Matt Bridges does a great job at Golf and Games. Take your kids there, wind them up, give them some candy, and turn them loose.
And just turn them loose.
Let them go.
And go to the bar and watch a football game.
You can watch a football game there, and Matt will babysit your kids while they eat the carpet up.
And Concord Beverage, of course, is a great local distributor of Crystal Geyser and Snapple products. And Mickey Laurie, who is a great football player. Joey Marin's at the other distributor.
Oh, he is?
Yes, he moved to the
Do they have beer at
Markstein.
that one?
Yes.
How come we didn't get those guys?
Well, because we can't have a beer distributor as a sponsor.
This is America.
It's
what do you
high
mean?
school football.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, you drew the line there.
We have to teach you some of the policies and guidelines.
I don't have very good manners, Dan. I was raised wrong. I was raised in the era.
There's certain people you can't have as sponsors in high school. You can't have tobacco companies.
All right.
You can't have beer companies.
All right.
And I tried to get Playboy, but they wouldn't buy that one either.
I'd buy it.
I bet you would. This is Tracy on the kickoff. And you know, Steve, it's not just the offense or the defense, but Ignacio Valley just isn't playing with the same step that they had last week, the same liveliness that they had in those games that we've seen them previously.
You know, Dan, when you run for 406 yards, that will liven you up quite a bit. But I agree with you that this possession right here is going to determine if Ignacio Valley continues to carry on in the playoffs. They have to score right here, Dan, well, your opinion first, but my opinion second. I agree with you.
Does anyone else want to third that opinion?
Anybody want to third that? They got to score here?
Do they have to? Okay,
yeah. We got
Even
an Ignatia Valley guy
shaking his head saying they got it. Dave Jackson said they needed to score 6 minutes ago. First down, the ball at the 22-yard line. Quick pitch. I think it's Pasquale, Steve. But Steve, there's just, I'll tell you, Monte Vista has done a great job. The coaching staff has done a great job getting this team prepared. That was Pasquale, short gain. But they're just ready for just about everything Ignatia Valley's thrown at them.
Matt Swan and Sam DeShaw was the only two guys not in on that tackle. Everybody else on the defense tackled that guy.
You do a great job on plays like that.
Do I?
You're good at like saying that the whole team made that tackle.
Well, they did.
Or everyone was in on that kickoff. Actually, Steve, he got a pretty good gain of about 4 there, and this is Smith on second down going around the left side, but he's tackled a great play that time, Steve, and a penalty as the tackle was made by Kelly. That was number 50, Steve Kelly, who's the senior.
He's played a great game so far, and this is something we haven't had a whole lot of, Dan. The officials gathering. Might get a trip.
We haven't had any penalties hardly at all here.
No. There's the Zebras.
Dead ball foul, personal foul on the offense.
We need to get another look at this and find out why there's a personal foul in Ignatia Valley. There must have been some sort of late hit after that run, Steve, but let's take a look at it.
Is that water on the field there, Dan? It looks like where he slipped. Let's see if Smith doesn't slip right here before he gets tackled. Watch him take the turn. See if his feet doesn't come out from under.
No,
okay. Yeah, he slipped and they fell on him.
Okay,
let's
now,
keep it
going. Keep it going.
Let's see if we see anything funny. Yeah, you can't see it there. Here's a ref looking up the field to the right.
Hold on.
He's looking to the right.
Something happened over here.
Yeah, you see that official with his head to the right. Our cameras didn't pick it up, Dan, but that's about the only thing they haven't picked up all year.
That's right.
They've done a great job all year. We missed that one, but
they're like Rich Aurelia. They pick up everything. You're still trying to figure that one out, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Inside screen. Steve, I'm telling you, just nothing is working. The only reason this play's working is because Garthwaite is making a great play. Monte Vista had that one stuffed 3 or 4 times, and Garthwaite made a great play to get out of trouble, but it's going to bring up a very important decision. It's going to be about 4th and 2 at the 31. Watch him go through this defense, Steve.
Oh, yeah, Dan, and right here, you look at it right here and you say, this thing is all smelled out. It's not going to go nowhere. He's surrounded by everybody, makes a nice move there, does a juke move, cuts in field right here, and almost moves the chains, turns up field right here and almost picks up a first down. Very important decision. They're going to go right now, Dan. I don't blame them this time.
I'm real disappointed in you. That had James Brown written all over it.
Yeah, it kind of did. Little
4th. You know what, Steve, though? They might be going with that long count. No, they go quick, and they hand off inside, and I think they got it.
They got it. Oh, I don't know.
Wynn. Yeah, well, after that one spot on the sneak from right, Steve, that could have been questionable.
I was looking at Moser. I thought he had the ball, but I knew that was right. They picked it up. Let's watch Moser, number 50, lead the way right up in the middle. Boy, he's a strong kid.
McFarland made a good block there, too.
McFarland makes a good block.
But Wynn just gets enough for the first down, Steve. It's going to be a first down at the 34-yard line for Ignatia Valley. 4:30 to go.
Boy, that was an important third down pickup by Garthwaite, Dan. On that play before that, boy, that was a big play for third down. They picked up good yardage and gave them the opportunity to move the chains, which they did. Let's see if that doesn't come back and help them in this drive. That's the play you'll look back on.
Here's the throw on first down. Gutierrez, he throws to Garthwaite, and Garthwaite is knocked out of bounds near sideline by DeSaw. And Steve, let's remind you that there's a game going on right now, which is Acalanes at Miramani. The winner of that game will play Campo Lindo or Los Lomas next week, more than likely on Friday night at Diablo Valley College. That's the anticipation anyway. And if that game happens, we'll bring it to you. The only thing that might stall that is if for some reason they put De La Salle on Friday night. They've never done that before, so we just have to throw that in there to you. But that should be the game. Take a look at this, Steve.
Right here, Dan, he just takes about a 4-step drop and throws us to the sidelines, and real nice positive play on their part.
Gain of 8, 2nd and 2. The ball at the 42-yard line of Ignacio, third quarter. They trail by 22, and they throw this time to Rockwell. But that pass was low, and he's wrapped up by Carpenter, and then he got help. Trying to get the number. That's number 80 who came over, Steve. Nick Kirkpatrick, and helped on that tackle. I think they got just enough for a first down, and they're going to move the chains. But the way Ignacio's going, this is what you were saying, it's going to take them a long time to score, and they still need to do this 3 times.
They still need to do it 3 times. They need to score on this drive. Right here, Dan, just a 2-step drop, and he has to go down and get it. And Carpenter wraps him up real well. He wasn't going nowhere from Carpenter. But there's Nick Kirkpatrick to come and help finish out the job. First down Warriors. They need to score right here, Dan. This is a very important drive.
Coach Ivankovic and his team needs to get on the scoreboard. They've yet to do it as they hand off straight up the gut to Smith. And Smith gets good yardage, a gain of about 6 on first down. Kirkpatrick was there again. Number 44, we haven't called that number much. That was Mike Millen who's in on the play. They're starting to use some of their backups. Let's take a look at this, Steve. And they're in that spread offensive position with 2 wide receivers
and
now.
They run behind Alex Amaya and Spike Mosier and McFarland. They like that right side. And positive play for Ignacio. Picked up about 6-7, Dan.
They're in Monta Vista territory at the 49-yard line. 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. They trail by 22. And they need to score 3 times here, Steve. But Ignatia Valley is a very resilient team, and they could do it. Here's a pass. And Gutierrez rifled that one. Complete to Rockwell at the 43-yard line. Millen again on the coverage for Monta Vista, Steve. But
and Dan, let's talk a little bit about Gutierrez. You know, he's a very good quarterback. Let's watch him right here in the pocket. He just throws a quick out right here, puts it right on the money. But, you know, he threw 96 times this year, completed 60 for 1,140 yards for 14 touchdowns and only 2 picks. And look at this quarterback rating, 206.7. Wow.
I'll give him a 9.
A 9?
Yeah, well, you know, like in gymnastics.
Okay. Well,
I don't know how they come up with those formulas.
And
I just know like 1 through 10.
Your mind is just going.
It's gone. It's been gone for a long time. First down, handoff to Smith. Smith trying to get outside. And Steve, this is one of those games where we have not seen a team that has been able to really stifle that running attack at the point of the scrimmage like Monta Vista has.
Most you know, Damian Hogue, John Zilius. Let's look at this whole defensive front. Justin Clark, Grant Anderson, Matt Swain. They've done a great job against that wing T so far. Matt Swan. I said Swain. Well, it's Swan. So now your parents can get back on the couch.
Yeah.
Okay. What did he say? Did he say
Put
Swain
the phone down.
Put the phone down.
We try.
I try.
Steve had too much turkey yesterday.
Oh my
How many
God.
dinners did you go to? 3?
3.
2nd and 9. Gutierrez up the sideline for Garthwaite. Complete! What a catch! Inside the 20-yard line, down to the 16, and Ignatia Valley is deeper than they've been in this entire game, Steve.
Real nice throw down the sidelines by Gutierrez. Watch this right here. It all begins up front. He gets the protection he needs, and he just steps back. He lets it go, and watch him go up and grab this with 2 hands. He wants it a little bit more, and right there he goes up with 2 hands. Makes a beautiful grab, nice footwork. Real nice positive play. Ignacio's knocking on the door. They're in the red zone.
Over Desaw. The spot is the 17. 1st and 10. 1:29 to go, third quarter. Ignatia Valley threatening. They need to get on the scoreboard. They trail by 22. Fade pattern into the end zone. Garthwaite. And Steve, there was a little bit of contact down there, but I don't know if that pass could have been caught. And Garthwaite is defended nicely that time by Desaw. It's incomplete.
Boy, Desaw did a great job, Dan. He sealed off that fade pattern. He got an angle on him and cut off the sidelines, and he wasn't able to turn upfield, and he just had possession and got in front of him, and the fade wasn't able to happen.
5 of 6 on this drive for Gutierrez. That was his first incompletion. 2nd and 10. 1:24 to go here in the third quarter. Gutierrez surveys the field, 2 wide receivers and 1 back, Smith behind him. Play action. Gutierrez rolling, looking to the end zone, scrambling, still on his feet, and then the man-child, Swan, who's had a great game at defensive end, comes over and makes the tackle after a gain of about 4. It's going to bring up a big third down play here, Steve, with about a minute left in the third quarter.
Matt Swan, real good play. He was relentless on the pass for us. Let's watch number 11. Right here, here's Gutierrez rolling out to the left, and he gets pretty good protection, but here's number 11 breaking him down, and he comes from his backside. He doesn't give up. And there he is. He had a lot of help from I can't read the number, but he got help from somebody, but he did a good job pursuing. And it's funny, Ignacio's got away from their whole game plan. They're just throwing every down now. No more wing T, it seems like right now.
It's Wing It is the name of this offense, Steve. 3rd and 8. Gutierrez look into the end zone. being chased. Great play by number 51, Damian Hogue. The sack and a huge loss on the play, Steve, of 10 yards. It's going to bring up a 4th down. And I'll tell you, I have not seen a team in the past 3 years do this to Ignatia Valley offense, Steve. They've really shut them down when they had to.
Well, I tell you what, that the front four of Monte Vista's defense has really played a great game. And there's Damian Haig's done a great job.
So's Damian Hogue.
Hogue? There's another Hogue, though, isn't there?
It's spelled H-A-U-G, but that's Hogue as well. So they're both spelled Hogue. And that's the last play of the 3rd quarter. The score after 3 quarters of play, Monta Vista 22, Ignacio nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute for the 4th quarter here on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop that right now!
I just dumped my oil in the garbage can.
By dumping used oil in the garbage, you might as well be dumping it in the ground. No! Recycle your used oil by curbing the crude. It's so simple. Place your used oil in a sealed jug on the sidewalk along with other recycled items. Call your waste management company for more details or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back at Mount Diablo High School, the score after 3 quarters of play tonight in a 3A semifinal game between Monta Vista and Ignacio. It's the Mustangs 22 and the Warriors nothing, Steve. And I think that's my favorite Mr. Funnelhead.
What, the one with Dave Jackson in it?
Yeah, the last one where Matt's in it. You know, that's Matt. By the way, folks, that's Metal Matt in there, and he's doing a great job.
God, I'm just throwing away my oil in the garbage. I thought Matt was smarter than that.
Well, I think it was staged for television.
And then he goes, oh, well, throw it on the ground. Okay. Then he goes, who throws oil on their lawn?
Following tonight's game, CC Rock. And this month it's Billy Squire. And there's Billy, looking old. And then after that, you'll see Jeff Tate. And Steve, do you have some smart comment about what he's telling me? We got to change it to Queensryche. Okay, we got to go back to live action, then we'll do Queensryche. 4th down for Ignacio. Gutierrez to throw, and he's sacked again. And the Monta Vista sideline.
And guess who it is,
It's Matt Swan, who's another guy that's played a great game. But Steve, Ignacio Valley just has not been able to move the ball, and when they get out of that wing T, they get out of an offense they haven't had to run a lot, and then Monta Vista's really taken advantage of those formations. Following tonight's game, CC Rock, part 2 with Queensryche. And Steve, do you have some comment about what Jeff Tate said?
Yeah, he said, hey, guards, see this guy here, Dan Wall, the guy with the curly hair in the front, get him out of here.
Okay.
That's what he said.
That might be true, actually, because I didn't buy their new T-shirt.
And you get in all them shows free. How do you do that?
I don't get into them all free.
You do, too.
No, I don't.
Oh, you do, too.
No, I don't. You know, I don't need to argue with you like I do with my wife.
Yes,
First down,
you do.
Monta Vista. They just need to go down the field, chew up some of the time, and they're going to get out of here with a big victory, Steve, and what would be considered a mild upset tonight. Ignacio Valley, the number 2 seed in the 3A playoffs, and Monta Vista, number 3. And they'll play the winner of Bishop O'Dowd Amador next week at Dublin High School. And great friends of the program, Steve, here on AT&T Broadband. Oh, we're going to have to continue this after this play, folks. Monta Vista is back in that hurry-up offense, so we'll tell you about the great friends after this play. 2nd and 9. Turner in motion. And right, play action, rolling. He's got the tight end, Kelly, in the middle of the field, and the pass is incomplete. Great friends of the program here, Steve. Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria. Voted the best pizza in Contra Costa County by readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, Movie Magic in Concord and Pittsburgh. The Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world.
And Dan, I really like what Monte Vista is doing right here. They got the lead. They're not getting conservative. They're saying, we're going to do what we continue to do, and we're playing hurry up. We're still going to throw the ball. I like that.
They've only ran 38 seconds off the clock, though, Steve. So if this pass falls incomplete, Ygnacio will have a chance still with over 11 minutes to play, and that is incomplete. It was intended for Carpenter. Mosier was there as well as Tracy, and it's going to bring on the first punt of the night for Monta Vista, Steve.
Even though that was unsuccessful, that drive, I still like their game calling. I still like them being aggressive. I still don't like them getting conservative, so I think they're doing very well.
Unaccessible. I have to look that up in my thesaurus.
Unaccessible. You could use that in scramble.
Unaccessible. I have to. U-N-E-X.
Unsuccessful.
Unaccessible. You kill me sometimes. But there's got to be one or two a game, Steve, or it's no fun. I mean, come on. Good punt this time. That's Garthwaite.
Look at that block.
And Garthwaite gets a good block, still on his feet, tackled at the 41-yard line by number 9, Billy Banta.
Say that 3 times.
Billy Banta, Billy Banta, Billy Banta.
Very well.
40-yard line, first down, Warriors.
Now batting, Billy Banta.
Second base. Sound like the guy at the Coliseum. 11 minutes, Steve. Ignatia Valley. If this was Monta Vista, I'd say they had a chance. I don't know if Ignatia Valley can score 3 touchdowns in 11 minutes without something happening.
If they're going to go back to the way they did their last drive where they throw the ball every down, I don't know if they've got the kind of offense and the people that, to run that kind of offense. It's just I haven't seen them having to do that yet this year, and they're coming with a spread offense. So they're going to be throwing the ball here to play catch-up, Dan. I don't know if they got the team to do it, but we'll watch.
Coach Ivankovic is going to have to pull a couple of rabbits out of his hat here in the fourth quarter. And they're back in that spread offense with 2 wide receivers. They throw an inside screen to Garthwaite, and he drops the ball at the 40-yard line, Steve. Steve, we've neglected to mention tonight the Ignatia Valley coaching staff, so let's do that. Darren Michaels is the defensive coordinator. Matt Wade, who played quarterback at Ignatia Valley with Coach Ivankovic, and with Chris Walsh, who's a Minnesota Viking, is the quarterbacks and wide receivers coach. Rob Forrester, who was a great player at...
Who?
Rob Forrester. Steve, you're a color guy. You should know this stuff. Where did he play?
Rob Forrester, tight end for the Raiders.
He played for De La Salle. And Rob Lobisi, Ryan Carey, who's probably helping out tonight, was the junior varsity coach. I'm going to have to get you a media guide of every school that ever played ever. Dante Smith on second down. And I think they want a flag, Steve. They thought that might have been a late hit, as you see Kirkpatrick and Millen over there. And that's Mike Millen, not to be confused with Matt Millen.
But he played like Matt Millen on that play.
Matt Millen was excited yesterday. Did you see his picture in the press box?
Yes,
Steve?
I did. Here's Smith on the outside. He's going up, and let's watch number 44 come out of nowhere. And there he is, making a real nice tackle. We got the back of the coach's head that covered everything.
Kelly also in on that play. 3rd and 4. Ignacio desperately trying to get on the scoreboard, trailing 22-0 tonight on AT&T Broadband. Probably our last look at Ignatia Valley, regardless of what happens. And Gutierrez overshoots his intended wide receiver, Rockwell, at the 47-yard line. It's going to bring up a 4th down, Steve, as we say hello to the great friends of the program here. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And while we have the opportunity, let's say hi to the Pantels. They're a great sponsor, the Pantel brothers. They've been running that business for a whole long time. In Antioch, down there on the corner of 4th and G Streets. 4th down. Handoff, Smith. And Smith is met and tackled. He is stuffed. And this is going to depend on the spot, Steve, as there was a great tackle on that play. Let's take another look at this. I'll show you on this replay here. Smith looked like he might have had it, but one of the Monta Vista players, and I want to get that number, came over and made a great play.
And here he is, Dan. Looks good right here. And I think they're going to give him the spot. Number 8, he made the tackle.
It was Kirkpatrick.
Nick Kirkpatrick.
And they spot that. Game. Yes, he has. Right at midfield, Steve. Now, let's take a look at this. Can we get a close-up of this ball? When you say it's right at midfield, can our cameraman do this? That's right at midfield.
Look at that. There you go.
That is right at midfield.
That's a pretty good job by the cameraman.
That's a good job by the cameraman.
I say, yeah, we could do this.
1st down. Ignacio with 10:44 to go, trailing by 22. Gutierrez hands off Smith. Smith has room outside. Good closure, though. that time from number 44, Millen, and number 88, Ornelas on that play. As you take a look at the Monta Vista side fans in the stands who are very happy right now, Steve.
And here it is. Let's watch 44 and 80. 88 close the gap. There's 55 turning in. There's 44 and 88. Ornelas and Kilpatrick gang tackling. He picked up 2.
2nd and 9 for.
Make it 1. Make it a half a yard. He didn't pick up nothing.
He actually did pick up a yard at 2nd and 9. The ball at the 49. 10:05 to go. Ignatia Valley really needs a quick hit here, Steve, and Gutierrez is going to throw play action. Wanted the screen. Great coverage. Kelly was over there. Steve, it's almost like Monta Vista knows what's coming.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They played a great game, boy. I tell you, I'm impressed both sides of the ball by Monta Vista Mustangs tonight. They've come ready to play.
Watch Kelly come in and knock this screen out.
And look at the penetration. I mean, they got people coming from everywhere. It looks like a jailbreak.
Well, Swan's in there every play.
Every play.
And Winger came over and made a play, and also number 55, Spitz, was in on the play.
Yeah, they've all been active. They've all been doing their part on that side. Both sides of the ball, but Monta Vista's really been prepared.
This looks like the longest yard in the second half.
Remember that movie?
I love my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
After Burt Reynolds gave everything up, and then, of course, he brought him back in the fourth quarter. Steve, 3rd into Brendan Theaters for a first down here. We'll throw a sponsor friend at you. On a fumble. The ball's on the ground. And I think Ignacio recovered, Steve, but they're going to have to go again on what will be a 4th and 16.
Fumble on the play.
Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, a great memory to look back on today and into the future. $20 per tape. Call 933-6264 or 432-0500, extension 237. Ask for Ron Carter or Metal Matt.
Well, play of the game right here, Dan.
Yeah, Ignatia Valley, this is
4th down and In-N-Out Burger.
in Tracy. Gutierrez to throw. He's going to go deep. He lofts one up, and it's going to be picked off. That's Kyle Wright, the quarterback who was in. Intercepted by Wright. And Wright is still on his feet and out of bounds inside Ignacio territory at the 42-yard line, Steve. And I think it's desperate times and desperate situations for Ignatia Valley now.
Kind of got a little soccer going on here with Monta Vista. Real nice interception, real nice return. They just had to get out of their game plan, Dan, from the second quarter on. Monta Vista came here ready to play ball. They put a great game plan together, and they've really executed good.
Dave, A&B Creative Trophies is a great friend of the program. You know them very
Gene
good.
and Jackie Azevedo, they do a real good job with trophies and embroidery and anything else you want down there.
And we thank them for their help this season, and hopefully we'll have them in the basketball season that's coming up, and we'll have the schedule for you next week as we start in December. Bearing on first down, and Bearing loses a yard. Tackle that play by Orlando Ortega, and we haven't called the Orlando Ortega special sauce much tonight, Steve.
No, not really, but he looked like he was had some hot sauce on that tackle right there. He didn't look too happy with that play. Let's watch Orlando, number 51, break through the line right here. Here's Bearing, and boy, I tell you, he just kind of does a chokehold on him and gets him down.
Well, you got to figure Ignatia Valley is very frustrated at this point, Steve. They definitely had high hopes, and the way they move the ball, I mean, you look at this season, Steve, they've scored 34, 21, 34, only 13 against Liberty, then 19, 14, 49, 13, and 19. So I guess in the second half of the season, it's actually their defense that started to take over for that offense. We just happened to see them on 2 nights when they rang up a lot of points. As Bearing runs on second down, gains 2. There's a look at the Ignatia Valley sidelines. I guess sometimes that's the problem, Steve. We only see them a couple times. They score 49 and 42. You think they're an offensive machine.
Exactly.
3rd and 9.
That was Alex Amaya on the sidelines there. He's taking a breather. He's frustrated. Castillo right there, he's not very happy. Look at them, they all got concern on their face. They know time's winding down and that this one's, they're losing grip of this one. Now's the time to start running the ball and getting to serve.
Well, it's 6:48 to play here in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 9, and Monta Vista ahead 22-0 here tonight on AT&T Broadband. Right, they throw the screen pass, and this is Bearing. And Bearing is going down the far sideline. He has a first down. Bearing still on his feet. He's finally ran out of bounds by Spike Mosier. But, Steve, I think the spot is going to come a little farther up. It's going to be at about the 20-yard line, but a first down for Monta Vista. And there is a penalty flag, and I think we might have a a roughing because he's pointing down the field, Steve. Let's hear the call.
To Berry for the first down.
And like I said, they need to open it up on offense a little bit and not get conservative.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback, 15 yards of set from the end of the run.
Wow, this really puts them down in the red zone.
Yeah, I think this is about it. If they score here, Steve, I think we can close that coffin up.
They knew Ygnacio would be aggressive on the pass rush, and they sure were. They blitzed. They picked it up very well, and here's Bering going down the sidelines. He gets a nice block downfield and does a tiptoe dance down the sidelines. Very nice yardage, very, very nice game. 15 tacked onto that. They're knocking on the door.
Steve, the ball's at the 10-yard line, first down. Monta Vista trying to go in for their 4th touchdown of the night. Right, draw play to Bering, and Bering straight up the middle.
Bering on a draw play brought down by Callahan.
Matt Callahan in on the tackle for Ignatia Valley. One of the first times we called his game tonight. I saw his parents in the stands before the game.
Yeah, and he's 6'6", 230 junior. He'll be back.
He'll be back next year.
I bet he could eat. I bet he had a lot to eat yesterday.
There's a lot of guys out here. Did you eat a lot yesterday? Oh, that's a stupid question. Look at Ron Carter. We've got some interesting camera angles and shots out here tonight. That was a good one.
And right here, Dan, here they are passing.
Oh, nice play action, right rolling. Look into the end zone. And he just throws an absolute bullet. Steve, you know what play that was? That was the play the 49ers ran to perfection twice last week.
Yeah.
That was Jeff Garcia to, not to Owens, but to Stokes touchdown.
Yeah.
And that's a touchdown, a 10-yarder. That's the exact same play. And this team is looking like a professional team. It's 28-0, and they're just a machine out here tonight.
Boy, I tell you, they're putting, this is the nail in the coffin right here. He rolls out, he buys some time, and he's just surveying the field. And look at this throw. Does he have a little bit on that?
You know what's scary about it?
You're exactly right. That looked like J.J. Stokes in the right there in the corner.
And for the 3rd time tonight, Stephen Tracy's offside on extra point. You know what's scary about that? It's not the fact they ran the play. It's the fact that he threw the ball harder than Jeff Garcia.
Yeah.
And a great catch down there in the corner. Touchdown, Monta Vista. 5:41 to go, Steve, and I think this one's just about over. 28-0 Monta Vista out here on the Mount Diablo field, and they're going to play the winner of O'Dowd Amador at Dublin next Friday night. After this one's over, and there's Conte's extra point, and that's the first time he's been on tonight, and it's up and good, 29-0. And Monta Vista just have to send out, take your hats off to him, which is what, cliche number 7?
Number 7, you got to take your hats off to the Monte Vista coaching staff. Bergman, I'm afraid to say it. Malnick, Steve and Sandy.
Yes. Bill Piona, Mike McCrae. And, of course, we talked to Coach Babcock, Chris Babcock, before the game. And we're going to do a basketball game over at Monta Vista this year, Steve. So we'll have that scheduled for you next week. As you take a look at the stands and very happy side, the Monta Vista side on the far side over there, Steve. The cheerleaders are having fun. The fans are having fun. The coaches are having fun. Everyone over there is having fun.
They're having a good time.
Everyone over here, not so much fun.
No.
The values being taught at this education.
But we're having fun.
We're having fun next week, as we mentioned before, and it'll be our last football game of the year, and we'll have tears in our eyes going out on this one. It'll be either Campolindo or Las Lomas against either Acalanes or Marimani at Diablo Valley College, the 2A final. And just for sentimental reasons, Steve, nothing against Campolindo, but we're kind of hoping we get to see Las Lomas one more time. I like the Campolindo guys too, but that Las Lomas team's a lot of fun to watch.
They really are.
So don't send any comments my way.
I'm not. I'm just going to let you have
Just a simple comment. I don't want to get any hate mail from the Campolindo Cougars.
No.
They were lots of fun when we saw them earlier this year. Great coach, and Coach Macy over there, he took great time with us.
And all those teams are about 3 miles from each other.
And if they win, then I'll be happy to. So it doesn't matter. But I like the Las Lomas. Here's the kick. And another gang tackle. That's been the theme tonight, Steve, as you see Foster gang tackle, and the spot's going to come at the 25-yard line.
Kel Turner was in on that tackle, number 15.
Tell us what you think. Give us a call at 933-6264, the game of the week. We prefer you call when no one's there.
Yeah. I don't think I butchered too many names tonight, did I?
No, you've been pretty good tonight.
Jeez, I didn't do too bad. I just asked help from you when I get in trouble.
That's all you got to do.
Which is a lot. and then they could blame you if you screw up.
Timeout, Ignacio.
Well, you know, Steve,
do you want a tape, Dan?
Well, if you'd like a tape, you can purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. A great memory to look back on today and into the future. $20 per tape. Call 933-6264 or 432-0500. And, Steve, I just want to tell you something about when you talk about mispronunciations.
Yeah.
I've worked in pro sports and now doing high school. You don't have public relations directors in high school. Have you ever seen a professional media guide? It has the roster and then it has phonetically, it spells out every name. So
wow, I need one of those.
The announcers can do their job. We usually find out either from a parent or a coach about 5 minutes before we go on it.
Right.
And 95% of the time, the coach tells us the name, and then the kid walks by and tells us a completely different pronunciation of his own name. That's what I always tell these kids. Your coach told me how to say it. It wasn't. I didn't just make it up.
And then on the way to the game, they lose their jersey, and they got to wear another kid's name, and they don't even have their jersey no more. And it goes, well, dude, I was 45 last week. But what happened? I lost my jersey on the bus. Okay. We try. Jeez.
We've had better luck with numbers and jerseys this year. We've had years where we didn't even know half the players on the field. First down handoff, Smith.
Smith, the ball
and
carrier.
Smith is hit hard after a gain of 4, Steve. Monta Vista's defense, there's a number 54 winger in on that play. They've just played a great game tonight.
5 on the play.
I think I'm more shocked at the fact that their defense has played this kind of game because now think about it. Antioch gave up 49 points to Ignatia Valley, and Antioch scored 34 points against Monta Vista. It's one of those things, again, though, you just really can't consider it at this time of year. Monta Vista is just that much better, I guess, at this point of year now. 2nd and 6, Gutierrez to throw. Rockwell near sideline, and it's high and incomplete. Turner was over there as well as Bearing in coverage. It's going to bring up a 3rd down, Steve. Mercado's a hairstylist in Antioch. Now, Bill Mercado's a big fan of high school sports. He's been a booster of Antioch sports for most of this century, and last century, too, because this century is only 2 years old.
Boy, he really has. If you want to know anything about high school sports at Antioch, he's the man to talk to. Big Bill. We want to thank him for helping us this year, and he really does a great job.
And Action Video in Walnut Creek, a first-year sponsor. Thanks for all your help this year on the AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week. Ignatia Valley needs some help right now. They trail by 29. 3rd down, and a deep handoff, and Steve Swan is just an animal. Matt Swan
on the tackle of
So I think Swan might have got a little nicked up on that play, but he got a hold of Dante Smith and swung him around. Steve, that looked like one of those airplane spins in wrestling.
That was a Three Stooges move. Let's see if we can't get it. Watch this. Hope Ron can get this on replay for us. Number 11, there he is. He's played a great game.
You know, have you ever noticed when we have like a real good thing to say during a replay, we never get it?
Yeah, he likes teasing us that way.
I know. When it's like a 1-yard gain, there's nothing to say. Here's 4 replays, but we got a good one. Yeah. You got the Three Stooges coming, and then we don't get the replay.
He goes, you want to see that holding call?
4th down, Ignatia Valley still trying to convert here. That's Garthwaite. Garthwaite's going to get a first down on a nice inside pass into the flat and then run after the catch. Knocked out of bounds far sideline. And it's going to be a first down at the 47-yard line, Steve. Are you pointing to Chad Sandman or Damian Hogue?
Damian Hogue was in on the tackle.
Your fingers are too big for that roster, Steve.
I got big fingers.
You do. And Steve, our last great friend, Antioch Opticians, of course, Greg Vallejo in the Rayleigh Shopping Center. Go over there if you want some glasses. Go over there if you want to know about Tower Power. He's a big Tower Power fan, too. Any of you folks, if you're ever out there the Antioch way.
All you retired fighters who want a rematch, Greg will fight you.
First down. Handoff to Smith, and Smith busts through the hole. Still on his feet. First down to the 37-yard line. Ornelas made the tackle. 3:53 to play, Steve, and I don't think Ignatia Valley is going to win this game. It looks like Monta Vista is going to advance, but they're still out there trying.
Oh, sure, they're kids, and they never give up. High school kids, they play till the final gun goes off. And Ignacio's had a great season. Going into this game, I never would have thought it would have been 29-0 at this point of the game. Monta Vista has done a great job. They've really answered the bell. And they came here, and they had a perfect game plan, and they played it to a T.
First down pass, this is Rockwell, and Rockwell is tackled by Bearing at the 30-yard line. We're down to 3:27 to play in the fourth quarter, Steve.
I can tell you this. Whoever plays Monta Vista is going to have to put some pressure on Wright, because if they don't put pressure on Wright, I'm telling you, nobody's going to beat this kid right now. He's just got too much confidence. He's practiced with his team too much. And he's really comfortable with the offense and those wideouts, and he's got confidence in everybody who surrounds him.
2nd and 8, the ball at the 30-yard line. Gutierrez, 5-step drop, throws to the end zone, looking for Rockwell. And Wright's back there, Steve. You know, that's the only thing I've had to question all night tonight. Why is Wright back there playing defense in a 29-0 game?
Not with a quarterback of that much value. I wouldn't have him back there. But you know, these kids, they go both ways. You know.
All it takes is one cheap shot, and he's not playing next week.
But here's Gutierrez back in the pocket. He's got plenty of time. Kind of hangs it up a little bit. Throws a good ball, but throws it into double coverage. And Wright just goes up and knocks it down. He's a good athlete.
Turner was back there as well. 3rd and 2. And Ignacio's been forced into this 2 wide receiver offense for most of the second half as Smith falls ahead for a first down. You might have to wait for the spot here, Steve. It could be a little short, but it looks like he got it. Steve, let's remind you once again, I think they're going to have a measurement, which will give us a good time to remind you that the West Coast Jamboree Girls Basketball Tournament heads into East County December 27th, 28th, and 29th. There'll be state-ranked teams entered in Division I, and that'll include Berkeley, who's 3rd in the state, Oakland High, Mount Carmel, and Division III, Bishop Montgomery, Alhambra, Center, Arcata, and Bear River, and I've seen them play at Grass Valley. They're real quick and fast. Division IV, Bishop School, St. Mary's, and Kennedy in Division V, La Jolla. And in the NorCal rankings, Berkeley, the number 2 team in NorCal, Oakland High, Laguna Creek, St. Mary's, and Alhambra. Ignacio and Monta Vista will have teams entered in that tournament over the right before New Year's weekend, so go out and see some of those games. Dante Smith with a screen pass on first down, and Smith is still on his feet, picking his way through, dragging a couple of tacklers, still on his feet. I think he was finally hit by one of his own players, Steve.
Wow, what a play that was, Dan.
Zilius was there for Monta Vista, as well as number 57, Vudicelic, who we haven't called for quite a while. But watch this nice run by Dante Smith.
It's almost a lateral. Throws it behind it. Smith goes up and makes a good athletic play, catches it, turns up the field. Watch this individual effort. Turns up the field, and there's just a lot of misses and a lot of cutbacks.
This is Aspen calling you.
Does a little spin and picks up some valuable yardage and stays on his feet. That's just pure determination from a high school athlete. Great job. He's a good player. He's got a great future ahead of him.
Gutierrez on first down. Looks to the end zone. Throws. He's got McFarland, the tight end, inside the 10-yard line, around the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. Steve, there's 2 minutes to play at Ignatia Valley, just trying to get on the board, trying to get something positive going. This is looks like it's going to be the final game for all these Ignatia Valley seniors, though.
Yes, it's going to end for them tonight. A lot of their careers will be over. A lot of them will go on to junior colleges. There will be a couple of Division I players that come out of this. I'm sure Spike Moser will get a ride somewhere, and there's some other
I think
seniors.
Dante Smith should get a look somewhere.
He'll get a look by probably a few Pac-10s.
Even McFarland
to get a look.
I don't think any of those guys will get a look. Maybe by the local authorities.
They'll get a look by that Walsh guy on the Most Wanted. John Walsh, is that his name?
That's him. Not Bill Walsh, but John Walsh. And there's a penalty flag, Steve. That could be offensive interference, as Rockwell tried to fight around the defender, but they could also call defensive interference.
I think they're going to call defensive interference. I think he kind of cut him off and wouldn't let him go after the ball. Let's see what he calls here. I think he kind of blocked his path off and kind of just got in his way. Should be interesting what they call here. This could go both ways, Dan, but I think it's going to be defense.
Pass interference, defense.
Yeah.
First down.
Pass interference.
Let's watch it right here, Dan. You can see him right here, cut him off and get in front of him, use his hands.
Oh, yeah.
And right there, that's a good call.
Steve, the only guys out of the starters for Ignacio back next year win Eric Barnett and Julian Laxon, who was hurt and didn't play tonight, and Kyle Foster of the notable names, but they will have to rebuild next year. They're going to lose a boatload of players, whereas Monta Vista has a lot of juniors on their team. As we mentioned, they're only going to lose Bering and Carpenter out of their top 6 on offense. First down after the penalty at the 5-yard line. 1:20 to play. Pitch to Smith, and Dante Smith is in, and Ignatia Valley finally gets on the board, Steve, with 1:16 to play. It's 29-6 after the 5-yard run.
Yeah, Dan, they finally got on the board, and that's nice for them to not get shut out from the seniors, and they scored, but a little too late. Monte Vista just had a better game plan, and they were a better team tonight. There's a hot potato pitch. We didn't see a whole lot of that tonight. They kind of abandoned that after they got behind about 16-0.
Hinojosa to attempt the extra point out of Stewart's hold.
Hinojosa on to attempt this extra point, and Steve, as if enough things haven't went wrong, that snap is bad, and it's fallen on by number 22, who's the holder, Jason Stewart. 70 yards, 14 plays as Ignacio gets on the board, Steve. 1:16 to play, 29-6. And let's take another look at the touchdown, Dante Smith here on this run, Steve.
Thank you for attending tonight's 3A East Bay Football Championship.
Okay, no replay, but we can tell you that Dante Smith ran for 5 yards.
He really did, folks. We just seen it.
So, Steve, next week, our final game at Diablo Valley College. I guess if you go by seedings, you would expect Miramani to play in that game against Las Lomas, but the way that league is, you never know. Let's take a look at that graphic, because I know Ron put a lot of time into making that graphic, so we need to show it.
And you know, don't count out Campolindo against Las Lomas. They can put a game together, and as crazy as that league has been all year long.
68-50?
Yeah.
1,279 yards of total offense. Las Lomas better hope that storm don't come in, though, because that's the one thing. Campolindo can run the ball.
I'll tell you one thing. Campolindo will not fold like the FXL.
And they won't fold like the XFL either.
What'd I say?
The FXL.
Look, I got it written right down there.
He's been waiting to use that line all night. They won't fold like the XFL, and what does he do? They won't fold like the FXL. And you know what? They won't fold like them either.
No, they won't.
You kill me.
Boy, I tell you, talking about coughing it up.
That was a great line, too. They won't fold like the XFL. And they folded, Steve. Here's the onside kick. Hinojosa, ball on the ground. Steve, I like the onside kick the Detroit Lions did the other day, where they faked it one way and pooched it the other way, had everyone running after the ball, a big scramble, and they got the onside kick. I always wonder why they don't do that.
I missed it. I was eating dip.
48-yard line.
There's things more important in football some days. Dip.
You know, I used to, when I remember Thanksgiving, where like I'd have like a plate, and then I'd have like halftime, then I'd have a plate, and then I'd have like a turkey sandwich. I think I ate like one leg, a helping of turkey and mashed potatoes and a salad.
Wow.
And a little piece of pumpkin pie.
That's too
all
bad.
day.
That's too bad. I had that in the first 10 minutes.
You had that before you got out of bed.
Jeez.
Breakfast in bed, Natalie. Bring me some turkey.
See what I got at home. Wait for when I get home. I got pecan pie, coconut cream from my grandmother made. Oh.
I wouldn't eat a
From
coconut.
scratch?
I wouldn't eat a coconut cream pie if I was in the desert.
You are a coconut cream pie.
I'm goofier than a coconut cream pie. Tim Ray in the game as we see the backup quarterback, Matt Canepa, and I butchered his name earlier, but saw how I wrote it out there, Steve, and there's a penalty on that play with a minute to play. I don't know who that's on. It might be on Ignacio for a personal foul. Steve, let's talk about this one a little bit as we start to go out here. It's pretty obvious. Kyle Wright, player of the game for Monta Vista, he led them down the field time after time after time. Aside from a couple of setbacks, maybe one possession they punted and one interception, they've just dominated tonight's game offensively.
Yeah, you know what, though? And I agree with you totally. But I bet you talk to the coach, you know who he gives the player of the game to? The offensive line and the defensive line of Monta Vista. I bet you that's who he gives them to. Because them guys won the battle up front, which you wouldn't expect from a team that runs the wing T and piles up the yards that Ignacio Valley did. Boy, you really got to just respect the job that
well, you're
Craig
right.
Bergman did on both sides of the ball with the line.
If Wright doesn't have that time to throw to a guy like Desaw, who had a great game, and there's a look at Kyle Wright. He'll be playing here one more year, and then he'll be playing on Saturdays somewhere the following year.
And he may be playing on Sundays someday.
In about 5 years.
In 5 years, yeah.
Here's a handoff once again to Ray, and Ray busts straight ahead. Steve, that was a personal foul penalty with 30 seconds to go, and that might be the last play of tonight's game. So, Steve, but I do agree with you defensively. Swan had a big game. A lot of those guys on that side of the ball, Hogue, Zilius, Anderson, they played a great game Monta Vista tonight, and they're going to win this game as they might have to run one more play. I don't even know if they're going to have to do that, Steve. Nope, this one's over, Steve. 29-6 Monta Vista, and we'll be back in 2 minutes to wrap this one up on AT&T Broadband's High School Game of the Week.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay. And most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Back at Mount Diablo High School, the final score tonight, Monta Vista 29 and Ignacio Valley 6. And Steve, we're going to take a look at the scoring in today's game. We have all the touchdowns for you because we have the crack crew down there in the trunk.
Cool.
So we're going to take a look at them, and here's the first one. And this is a nice pass from Kyle Wright, who was the offensive player of the game, and this is DeSaw, and this is a very nice pass early, made it 6-0.
Very nice catch also. He rolled out and bought time and made it happen. This is that crazy two-point conversion right here that the wounded duck comes down and watch his catch. Dwight Clark, Joe Montana.
Didn't mean as much, though.
No.
And this is Wright. Nice bootleg after the play action. Got outside of this Ignacio Valley defender. I believe that's McFarland.
It is, and he smells the goal line and dives for the pylon, and 6 more points. Monta Vista the right. It's not a route, but I'll tell you what, it sure was surprising.
And then here's the handoff, and Bering goes in. Short yardage, and he was into the end zone, Steve. At that point, it was 16-0 Monta Vista. And then here in the third quarter, this is Bering on a 5-yard run.
And boy, he's had a great year, and boy, another touchdown on his resume.
Then, Steve, this is the play that we called the Jeff Garcia to J.J. Stokes. It's a virtual reproduction of that play from last week against Carolina. As you see Wright rolling, look into the end zone. Now watch this cannon. Just
yes,
boom.
What a great arm and a great catch. Them two are a very lethal weapon.
The kick was good. It was 29-0, and then Ignacio Valley with 1:16 remaining in the ball game. Dante Smith finally got the Warriors on the scoreboard with this short run. The final score tonight, 29-6, as we're waiting here, and we should just shortly have the final statistics to talk about, Steve. Here's the final stats of tonight's game. You can see the rushing yardage for Ignacio. They actually ran for 187, far down from last week, Steve.
Yep.
But the stats are pretty darn even. But when you consider that Monta Vista passed for 257, it's kind of weird when you look at those stats. If you look at those stats and then look at the score, you'd go, "There's no way." I mean,
there's no way. Exactly.
First downs were even, turnovers were even. Monta Vista had 3 more yards, but unfortunately Monta Vista converted when they needed to in the red zone. As you take a look at the winning coach, Craig Bergman, on the sidelines, and 29-6 Monta Vista, Steve, as we're going to have a couple of the individual stats here to talk about in a minute. I'll be able to tell you quickly that Wright threw for 257 yards. Actually, I think it said 256 up there. Baring ran for 45. DeSaw caught 10 passes for 150 yards. Turner 5 for 36, and Kelly caught 3 for 36 for Ignatia Valley. Gutierrez passed for 76 yards for Ignatia Valley, Steve, tonight. Dante Smith ran the ball 22 times, and I'm going to kill what's his name over here because he didn't add him up for me over here on the far sideline over here. But
no more burritos for him.
I'm going to say just off the top of my head, Steve, that Dante Smith had 128 yards rushing for Ignatia Valley. Pasquale, and there's a guy, Steve, and you remember he got hurt at the end of that game last week, and Pasquale really didn't factor into tonight's game.
No,
for
he really
Ignatia
didn't.
Valley. So, Steve, we say goodbye to the Ignatia Valley Warriors. They've provided us with 3 good matchups out here, and Coach Mike Ivankovich, as we take a look at the Monta Vista Mustangs, who will go on and meet the winner of the Bishop O'Dowd Amador game next week, next Friday at Dublin High School, as we get ready to wrap up another one for you. And we're going to take a look at our great crew that helped us out here tonight. Tonight's game was directed and produced by Ron Carter. Joel Madsen doing a yeoman's job on graphics.
And he's a joke. He's a good guy.
Matt Bolander on replay and audio tonight. And don't forget to watch CC Rock right after tonight's game. Jeremy Mansker. I think Jeremy is the Billy Gibbons.
Is he the big bearded guy?
Yeah, ZZ Top.
ZZ?
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. Talk to him.
Kevin Campbell on camera tonight as we hear Rush in the background, as always. Jonathan Martin on camera tonight, and Scott Valeur. Torrance Brown ran a camera tonight. He's usually a production assistant. Dave Jackson, Mr. Funnelhead on stats.
He's the funnel of all heads.
And Robert DeCambra, who's minus a donut for not adding up the running totals for Ignatia Valley. Brent Elridge, as always, a great job on data tonight.
And Brent bought his son, and I'm going to give him a big hug.
Special thanks to Ignatia Valley head coach Mike Ivankovich and to Monta Vista head coach Craig Bergman.
B-R-G, Bergman.
Special thanks to Mount Diablo High School. Thanks. We've been here the last 2 weeks. It's been great. Next week we'll be at Diablo Valley College. We'll tell you a little bit about that later. As always, Dan and Steve here in the booth. And it's been a great year, and we got one more game, Steve. The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is brought to you by friends of AT&T Broadband. That's Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, voted the best pizza in Contra Costa County by readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, Movie Magic in Concord and Pittsburgh. Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Other great friends, Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And Steve, since we're retiring friends next week with our top 10 friends of all times, you get to tell us who your friend is tonight.
You know who our friend is?
Yeah.
There are a bunch of them.
Yeah.
The Pilgrims.
That's a Thanksgiving friend. That is very, very good. I like the way you tied that in. Steve, the final score tonight, Monta Vista 29, Ignatia Valley 6. For Dan Wall, Steve Sanchez, Ron Carter, and Matt Eldridge, we want to remind you this has been a sports production brought to you by AT&T Broadband in Walnut Creek and Pittsburgh.
Good night, everybody. Go America.